energy! Next up, we have Trusty Process coming up. Make some noise for the teams, guys. Come on! And last but not the least, we have 0 Degree. Now that the teams are here, let's give a big round of applause to the final 16 teams of the South Asia Regional Finals. I'm looking at you, Public. Okay, so let's not waste any more time and head straight over to the analyst desks who will lead us into the first match of the South Asia Regional Finals. Woo!
Thank you very much, there, Susan. Yes, it is time to finally get underway with our first game of the day, our first match here in the finals to find out who our top 5 teams will be. You heard the crowd's excited. I'm getting excited. You guys are looking excited.
So
and I
excited.
think we know who the crowd's rooting for.
Well, yes, that's pretty much all I'm going to say about that. Every time Seoul comes on the stage, people start losing their minds, and with good reason, of course.
Let's hope the crowd can boost up Seoul, as we mentioned on the leaderboards, just barely making it. Hopefully they perform a lot better here today.
We actually talked to a couple of teams saying they feel the pressure from the crowd, and imagine being one of those teams who's up against Seoul in the firefight and you beat them and the crowd goes silent. That has to get in your head, or maybe they'll get behind you, who knows. But 2 teams we did want to talk about here in particular, because we had them rise through the ranks completely on day 1 and day 2. One team more so on day 2. It's going to be ETG Brawlers and IND. We have to talk about them.
Well, technically speaking, I'm just going to make a very big disclaimer here. IND, as you mentioned, started flourishing later on in the day when other teams were kind of letting loose a little bit because they were already sort of in the top, in the safe zone. I don't know if that really affected the performance of IND. They had a number of great showings, but I guess it's worth mentioning that there is a little bit of an asterisk over that performance.
All right. I mean, talking about from the biggest movers, you know, IND from day number 1, they had 25 total points, and then the end of the day, they got 96 points the next day. So, like you said, a couple teams were trying some different moves, but even with trying different moves, the Brawlers got 47 points trying different things. I mean, that still outpaced a majority of the lobby. So if that's Brawlers on an off day, I can only imagine what Brawlers will be on an on day.
I want to point out something real quick. If you look up the heads up, the distance traveled between Brawlers and IND is actually pretty large here. 180 kilometers to 261. That just goes to show how different their playstyle is. IND like to rotate across the map, where Brawlers, they really like to hold map control, get into the circle early, and then go from there.
And the damage very close between the 2 teams, but the fact that they both have the same amount of kills is what really shines to me. Also keeping in mind, IND, one of their biggest games they did have was the fact that they got 20 kills and they got the chicken dinner.
Yeah, and that was definitely the play of yesterday. We were talking to IND backstage, and they were talking about that fight and kind of breaking it down exactly how it happened. If you can recall, the water, it was on Erangel, was separating a majority of the lobbies. IND, they had 4 vehicles. They all jumped into their vehicles, drove it straight into the water. Next thing you know, they switched seats through smokes, and those smokes allowed them to swim up onto the shore. And then after they were on the shore, they started chucking grenades into the water, racking up some kills, and that's pretty much what allowed them to frag out that previous game.
I think it's creativity like that that really set apart IND, because when it comes to those clutch situations and really strange situations that you can never predict, like having 20 people in the water, it's going to take some creativity to be able to pull through and get ahead in a situation like that, which you can't really train for that.
Exactly.
Kind of thing.
Well, in day 1, we had ETG Brawlers solidify their spot in number 1. But day 2, we had a lot of teams rising through the rank, really coming up towards the top and really getting themselves through today.
Yeah, one of the
Nepali
teams,
TDP.
holy how neat, they were making some moves, and I gotta say, IR2 was the playmaker from yesterday. They got a squad wipe onto Entity, and then almost immediately after that, you can kind of see the confidence levels from the squad boost up, and then from there, they were just racking up the points all day long. One thing to note as well, though, from yesterday's games, they changed IGLs from day one.
Oh, did they?
They did. They changed IGLs.
Who was IGLing later on? Do you?
I forgot who they mentioned, but I'll get that.
And that's
for
crazy
you
to
next
think
time,
about
but-
that, because the change in leadership, that's a really big thing, probably the biggest thing you can change in-game. Just like what we talked about yesterday with 8-Bit, changing up their team leader to Ted, unfortunately, nearly worked out for them, but didn't really quite do that.
I mean, it's obviously a very tough thing to do in the midst of a tournament. And honestly, you know, good job for them to be able to make that switch up and not drop a beat, right? And if anything, he exceeded expectations getting them through to today.
I mean, I look at a team like Nepali Honi. They are like what is exactly in front of us right now. They started off the group stages. They ended up, I think, around 20th. Really, really low in the standings, and they ended up in 5th. Just goes to show that if you have a bad start on day one, it can actually change. So now that we have actually 3 days, it's going to be very difficult to predict how these upcoming 3 days are going to be.
Yeah, I mean, they got 56 points in 1 day. So they should be fairly decent coming into today. A team that I am a little worried about just barely qualifying. Rift Official.
Yeah, we have to talk about
It's
that.
interesting because looking at their stats, they had 7K damage. And if you were to compare that damage to other teams on the leaderboard, they should be hovering around 8th place with that amount of damage. So what's going on with that squad? In my mind, they're just not getting the confirms on the kills. They're tagging everybody, but they're just not getting the kills.
I think it's very similar to how Team Mayhem has actually been playing. Team Mayhem, really aggressive. They're actually going around looking for those kills, but because of the fact that they play so aggressive, I think sometimes that costs them a lot of placement points. They can't always close out the kills themselves. So very similar to what has happened on your side. It's Team Mayhem who hasn't been exactly finishing off the deal. Despite that, though, they've managed to find themselves in 7th place. So that's still pretty impressive. And we have some other teams that have started off at the top and also made themselves head into the bottom-ish area, like Team Zero Degree.
Yeah.
0 Degrees, I think the biggest example of that. They started off amazing, and they ended up with, I think, 40 kills actually in total, but they never followed up on that and those placement points later on in the day.
Kind of just coasting yesterday, right? Real quick.
No, go ahead.
Fun fact before we move on from Rip Official. The last 2 events that they played in, they didn't qualify by 1 point. This event, they finally qualified, but by 1 point. So like that 1 point is their lucky number, I guess you could. Oh, I already broke the decimal. It is their number. Hopefully they can improve, and hopefully 1 point will set them apart from qualifying from the 5th to 6th spot.
Well, hey, that says consistency to me, right? And consistency is something that all the teams are going to need over the course of these 3 days. If you're HEG Brawlers, we look at them, and they've been probably one of the most consistent teams out there, taking 3 chicken dinners in a row on day 1. That is almost unheard of. And now going into 18 matches played, that's going to be 10 more than they played to actually get here today from the prelims. How consistent can teams really stay?
So here's the thing with teams like ETG Brawlers, they have previous experience. So and they have good leadership. That's going to be the thing that keeps them going throughout these few days. When you're a new team, when you're a young gun and nobody really sort of knows how to read you, that's when you're in a little bit of trouble. That's sort of maybe what Brawlers went through earlier, but the fact that they have actually experienced players, experienced in-game leaders, I think they're going to be fine in the upcoming days. It's a matter of whether the other teams can read into their playstyle or not.
And one thing to note about the Brawlers, we don't have much data to kind of back it up since they only played 2 Aaron Goal matches. And on both those Aaron Goal matches, they got a 1st place and then a 16th place.
Yeah, exactly. That 16th place, though, was them kind of just running around, getting caught out. I think it was by Reckoning at the end. But we don't know if that was them actually trying to make it towards late game or if them just having a little bit of fun since they already were qualified.
It kind of worries me because, like as we mentioned, we have 18 matches. 50% of those are on Aaron Goal. So in my personal experience, I'm looking for those squads that are consistent on Aaron Goal. If you could do that, then you should be looking fairly decent in this tournament.
I mean, every single time Mortal just comes out on screen, people just lose their minds. I wonder if they can, the audience can be heard into our headsets. Probably.
I mean, they're soundproof headsets, but they don't have them on just yet, so they definitely can hear it. And I think you at home should be able to hear it as well. And we need to start to talk about a little bit here, because it's going to be an important factor of, well, ETG Brawlers, they were on the top, right? They were the #1 team. how much can you adapt your game style into the next day? Can you do, and are you going to go for that or still try to play your own style until someone beats you?
The thing is, it's so hard because there's, again, 18 games. So you can only have so much in your to have prepared playbook to pull out of the hat and maybe to change before you start running a little bit dry. I mean, yesterday you saw it, ETG Brawlers, they won like one match and they never did well after that. So you have to start thinking, ETG Brawlers, are they running out of strats? What will they pull out today? They must have had a lot of time to think about what they're going to be doing today.
Yeah, we were just checking them out right there. I mean, talking to them backstage before the game, they said, listen, Mustache Dave, we are going to go We're going to go back to those strategies that we brought to the table on day number 1. We're going to try that out today. If they can accomplish that first chicken dinner in the first game, I'm worried for the other squads here because once when they got that chicken, full-blown confidence, that pressure was lifted off their shoulders.
And on that note, we talked to them as well, and they said once you get that first chicken dinner under your belt, the confidence rises, right? We saw that with IND yesterday. Once they got that first chicken dinner done, they started to just mow through all of their opponents.
Actually, it wasn't even a chicken dinner that got it started for them.
Second place, right?
Yeah, they got second place and they got a bunch of kills, and then they won the game after that. And then ever since then, they were really, really on fire. So it's all about momentum. When we talk about teams like having that kind of momentum, you have to be consistent with it. Once you have that momentum, it's so hard to let go of, especially because of the fact that we're playing 18 games over 3 days. It's all about that mental fortitude. It's all about how equipped you are to be strong, not just physically, but also mentally in the game as well.
And that's the thing with IND. I mean, if you compare stats, you brought up a couple of minutes ago, both Brawlers and IND tied with 60 kills. All right, so both squads can frag out. The thing that's holding IND back, though, is these placement points. And that's just their play style. If you can recall yesterday's Sandhawk match, they were in boot camp. They didn't decide to pull back and play for circle. Instead, they got aggressive. They pulled out the circle just a little bit. They were trying to gatekeep a couple squads. They got a couple kills, but they weren't prioritizing placements. So that's how 8-Bit kind of snuck in behind them and got the better position. So I'm curious here if they will kind of prioritize placements a little more, maybe 50-50 with kills so that they can compete with the Brawlers.
Yeah, and we talk about coming alive in these few days here. There's a couple teams that I actually wanted to mention, in particular Team Seoul, right? So Team Seoul, they had a very, very quiet tournament at the very start. They barely qualified, let's be real here, not having the best tournament.
Saving it for the last 3 days, right?
That's the thing, that's what I'm thinking. Like, what if they're going into playoff mode right now? What if they were saving all the big strats because they know they were going to qualify? It's so hard to tell.
And if there's a team that's experienced, it's going to be them. They were representing India back in spring for Pmco for the global finals. So if a team has experience on land, has experience under pressure, it's going to be Mortal and his boys. Yeah,
the planes, they had around 5k damage, 27 kills, and then 38 placement points. So like you said, maybe they were just coasting, maybe they were saving all these secret strats for the next 3 days. I mean, let's be real. This is what really counts. I mean, yeah, you got here, but let's see what you got.
Yeah, it's not like you can carry over points from the players anyway.
Everything's fresh. 0 points on everybody.
So the first team, a team we haven't talked about, a first team to take a chicken dinner that was ETG Brawlers, is Mustache Dave, one of your favorites, Trust the Process. They were able to take the first one for themselves in their last game of the day. And this is a team we need to talk about a little bit because they hit the ground run on day 1, but day 2 they tapered off.
Well, the thing with Trust the Process is they started off really, really well, and I love what they did. They showed a lot of communication, a lot of good decision-making skills, especially in the late game. However, I really started to feel like when Trust the Process got later on, it seems like they kind of lost their flair, the magic. I don't know, maybe it's because they wanted to try some new things because they know they were qualified anyway. But it's very, very hard to say whether it's going to be the same thing today, whether they start off great and then end up doing just okay.
Yeah, they're sitting right behind us, by the way. They're listening to everything.
Yeah, I'll be honest. They are one of the reasons that made Group A so difficult.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest. Group A was hell for anybody who wanted to try and qualify. Orange Rock, they got the butt end of that.
Well, you know what? You gotta trust the process. I still trust the process. Will they breach that top 5 mark? I mean, looking at their stats, they had 3k damage. Like you said, you guys were making comments about it. Did they peak on day 1? I might agree with you on that.
Okay, I thought you were going to go the other way.
No, I'm going to agree. I'm hoping they show something else today. If they do, then I'll, be in their cheer section once again because I go where the top dogs go, of course. But let's see. Cloud Chaser, Dave, yeah, that's me. Let's hope the pressure doesn't get to them here, though. Let's be real. I mean, this is their first land as a team together as well. They should be happy that they accomplished it this far. But let's see what we can do. I mean, let's do with this opportunity and represent.
it is the crowd's still going. That's actually what's amazing to me, the fact that they are really not running out. Headphones are going on. It looks like we're about to start very soon, but I do want to point out this team in particular. We just did in Megastars. They've been more or less quiet, but they've been okay. I'm expecting them to come out huge today. They've got a lot of potential. We'll see it today.
Also, Megastars walking on stage had the hardest flex. I think the best walk-in, we had one of the players like straight up flex, but that's it.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, please make some noise in the arena. It's time to get the first game underway and see who's going to take home that first chicken dinner. Let's go over to our commentators. Now it's Byfield and Imperial.
Coachको prediction मेरो छ है त हेरौँ के लान्छ मिस्टर हेजु छ नि हाम्रो मिस्टर हेजु ब्रो
Thank you, Jason. Yes, we're here for the finals, Imperium. Game 1 on Erangel, and we're going to see which two teams make it straight through to the global finals and which three make it to the prelims.
Of course, we had 24 teams start, 16 teams have got to this point. It all resets. What happened over the last 2 days,
top 6 and top 5
need to completely forget about. Even the likes of TG Brawlers and godlike ended very strong. It's all reset. 18 games they have to face to get into that top 5. And as we started in Erangel, 9 games in these 18 that we're going to play are going to be played on Erangel. That makes it so much more important that you grab a hold and you grab control of that map.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it all resets, as you said. We saw teams like Fnatic, also ETG Brawlers take a step off the gas pedal, essentially, before coming into today, not wanting to reveal any strategies or give away any tactical insights to the teams as of yesterday. However, what's going to change in day 1 of the finals? Imperium, what do you make of this plane so far?
One play trajectory, as we see, is going from south to north, mainly towards the military island location. We did see Fnatic and Trust the Process yesterday and in the Erangel games whenever it went near military island that they were going to land there. It does make it harder for any teams that want to head towards Shortfall. It means they're going to have to get a vehicle quickly, grab it fast and head on over there. Pachinki, I want to mention those. One location that was always really taken by 8-bit, and I want to know who's going to grab that location at the palm of their hands.
Yeah, very interesting. We see Seoul heading towards it currently, however they may go over it, maybe go towards Qatar or Ruins.
Indeed. We see a phase 1 circle. It is more towards the west. That makes it obvious thought process that more of the teams are on the east side. That means that the locations are going to have to come out pretty early from some of the teams that are close to the edge of the circle. Fnatic, IND, Trust the Process, and ETG Brawlers get into the center circle quickly and get in there.
You mentioned so many teams towards the east. Obviously, Potato Hill, near Pachinki, making it so hard for rotations to go from the east side of the map to the west. How are these teams going to be able to rotate over towards the likes of Qatar or Ruins?
Well, in fairness, it is relatively easy with Erangel because it is such a big map, and the way the phase 1 circle is located, you obviously have the North River, which will be an easy enough access for the likes of Megastars, Elementrix, Entity, and of course RIP. They can easily head on towards over that bridge, head towards hospital. I'm curious is if anybody is going to take Everest Mountain as a starting location for phase 1. We did see Elementrix, if I'm not mistaken, look to take it in one of the Erangel games yesterday, but they actually got pushed out and lost against NT, so it's going to be strong.
This early on, because what happens if the circle shifts towards the south side of the map? You have so much open plain to cover towards Qatar, the eastern side of Hospital as well. The terrain is all open field. Yes, you may have Everest, but if the circle keeps shifting towards the south, towards Quarry, that's going to be very awkward and difficult rotation.
That's definitely true indeed. It's going to be very interesting, and it's something that I was talking to a couple of people yesterday. It's something that we generally agreed upon. Yes, you know, they've had 2 days of playing games.
India, Nepal, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and
Sri Lanka. Because this is a reset, and because these are the core 16 teams in the final stage, I feel like they're all going to be playing a little bit more passive
a little bit more careful to feel each other out. We're going to have a bit of a slower pace game while these teams figure each other out.
Totally agree with you there.
Obviously,
first day of the actual tournament with the play-ins, we saw very tentative players playing so slow. I think there was one point we had 10 teams alive, 25 minutes or so into Sandhawk. That was how ridiculous, how ridiculous it really was. And then by day 2, completely different affair. Obviously, there could be the tangent that teams safely into today. But yeah, we should see more confidence and more aggression happen as the tournament does.
So look at see, of course, with the teams that are looking to rotate, of course, Entity are in Yasmin Pollyanna. Elementrix are split up in around Stallbar area. Megastars, they landed around Severny, and they're looking to start to rotate. One team I do want to highlight, which I like their position, but I feel like it's a little bit too split up right now. That is INS. The reason why is because with most of the teams, the majority of teams being on the east side, having to rotate into the west, they're a little bit spread too thinly. If one team crashes one or two of those, or two teams crashes to the compounds and to the areas that two of their players have, we could see INS early game be put down to just 2 players.
Prize,
typically when we're commentating PUBG Mobile, it's about the 2-2 split. This is a 1-1-1. They are very far apart, which means, as you said, they cannot really help each other if things do go south.
And look at this, we see the members of Orb, they are close to a couple of members of INS. However, he is looking to rotate away, join up with 1 or 2 other members. Let's see how he does look to rotate. So I really am impressed early game with the rotation and the forward thinking coming out from INS. Even Seoul occupy a compound to the north of INS, right in between INS and RIP that are just in the South George. It's such a good set of compounds that Seoul hold on to, because if you do need to rotate away, like you mentioned about the phase shifting down south, it does give them plenty of space on the west coast road to get into a good location, depending on where it shifts to, and it does give you great scope of vision on teams that could be around the Gaka area.
Obviously, we're expecting teams to land at military base, and we can see Team IND currently hold the bridge near Quarry, the only way in, potentially, if we don't see Fnatic move immediately. But do you think Team IND may take control of that bridge and then hold it as a stronghold or a choke point and then try and get some kills that way and map control that way?
It all depends on what their play style and their strategy is. If it was 5 games in, 6 games in, I would say yes. But game 1 of an 18-game run, the most important thing each team should be looking to do is just to play their own game, get a bit of an idea of where they want to go depending on the circles, and if they happen to be able to catch out a team or a player or two, they can do that. Of course, common sense tells you that if they have done their research, they'll know that at least 2 teams like to land in military base, so could give them good idea. But ETG Brawlers getting the first knockdown.
Oh, and the run over as well. Brawlers with the first kill. That's going to be ETG Brawlers getting an extra point here. And we saw yesterday, Imperium, the importance of 1 point.
Yes, importance of the kills, importance of getting those points on the table. When we looked at the overall standings of the planes, there was a few teams that were on equal points at the end of those 12 games, or at the end of those 8 games. Sorry. And even when you look at the bottom, Orb just about managed to qualify for the finals. They were actually sorry, they were on the same points as 17th place, which was unfortunately Orange Rock. But the reason why they qualified is because they had more kill points. So getting those kill points is so important.
Yeah, essentially paying back dividends later into the tournament in case things get really tight. ETG Brawlers, who were just previously on our screen, speaking to them privately, but it's been past the play-in, so don't mind. They said that on that second day, they took the foot off the gas and they tried to just have fun, play loose, and not play to their strategy. They actually said they're going to land at different places. They're going to go back and change their rotations, especially in Erangel as well, because of how often it's going to be played. So for me, the big surprise is what adjustments are ETG Brawlers going to make from the first day into the first day of the play-ins?
course, time will tell, time will tell. Indeed, now we are seeing towards the end of phase 1, Alex. We see the majority of the teams are in circle. Soul, INS, I think it's even Rip are in the center of the circle around the Gaka area. IND heading in from the south. Fnatic are just coming over the bridge, starting to come over the bridge from the western side, and I do like the position that Blood hold on to as they get a little bit closer towards the center.
You can see it's moved slightly north, not by too much, this circle number 2. Although for me, I'm really thinking that Everest's going to play a major role into the later game, because we're already shifting north. If we have 1-2 more of those, if you control Everest, you control all of the plains south of it where we see Synergy, Soul, INS, etc.
Yeah, of course, and it's going to be a big thing to play for. Of course, we did see Elementrix. They are rotating towards Everest. Everest, like I said, the game that they did hold on to with regards to Everest, they lost it pretty early on, and he took down 2 members. So I'm going to be curious, have they learned from their mistake? Will they be able to tip their flag on top of Everest and claim that money?
ब्रलरले खेल्यो अब आज फेरि कुन चाहिँले खेल्दिन थाहा छैन यो गेममा ब्लकमा नि भर पर्छ
Joker from INS
गेम पनि भर पर्छ
having a prowl over the building.
ओआर त्यस्तो डोमिनेट हानेको टिम त सेलेक्ट त भएन.
That's one thing that I do want to point out that is so important in the early parts of a game, is that you're not trigger happy with your shots. You don't necessarily need to take a shot towards a player or a team. All you need to do is look for information, and that's what Rip are doing.
Oh, so some of the players here from ETG Brawlers trying to cross the open field here, but there's a player in the ditch, and that is Tempest. He spotted 2 of the cars, but unfortunately it seems that they can't connect any of the bullets.
And one risky part about Rip's position right now, especially as a full squad, is all it's going to take is 3-4 grenades and a couple of Molotovs, and they're going to be wiped out. I would fully recommend that they split into 2 and 2.
Georgia Paul, we're seeing 2 teams. I believe it was actually Megastars as well, just crossing the river close towards George Pool.
Yeah.
They didn't go south of Ross Hop towards school and cross the open field there, because if they did, Synergy, etc. would have been very difficult for that rotation. Instead, they played it safe. They almost went over the hill, far away, dodged it, and now very safe. It's a smart play.
And I do want to give credit to these teams. I know we are 11 minutes in, but it has kind of surprised me how many of these teams are much closer to the center of the circle. I know phase 2 was relatively nicely squeezed up for the teams, but compared to what I saw over the first 2 days of playing, where I felt like the teams held on too much to the edge of circle or left it too late to rotate in, coming into the finals, the teams, they want to claim control early on in these games, as I said, especially in Erangel.
Yeah, analysis desk as well touched upon the fact that teams playing far more in the center of the circle, so you are bang on to the money there. No teams are really towards the southern side of the map as well. Why do you think that is?
Well, because the south side map is so difficult to hold on to. There's only 2, 3, 4 points that you can really strongly hold on to and split your team in solid positions. It's much more competent to hold on to towards the north side of Gaka or even to the east side of Gaka. Plus, like we talked about, we could see the phase shift going up north, and if it goes up north and you're further down south, it is a bit harder to rotate, because look at the fields where around IND are, look at the fields where Gaka are. It's so open, but we see phase shift, it shifts up north, east. It is going to favour the likes of Megastars and Zero Degrees, but with Megastars, if they don't get out of runes, if they stay too close to runes, it's going to be so hard to disengage from it later on.
I think this really favours Elementrix, unless maybe Entity come from the top of the circle and try and counter them or contest them towards Everest. But it seems unlikely as they're going to be joining the action inside the circle. Seems that we might have quite the crescendo here about to happen as we enter phase 3. 16 teams still alive.
And 63 players. This is going to be the first crash.
Maybe it shall. Mayhem versus Synergy, as they've managed to get their vehicles rammed into the building, as they're going to be getting an exchange early on going in favour of Synergy, but it's going to be Vampire as well downing a few of the players here. From Synergy on the side of Mayhem, but more damage from the grenade of Cloak as well. So many kills. It's going to be Synergy just wiped out immediately.
It was that grenade by Cloak to knock down 2 members of Synergy that really stopped them in their tracks. Great protection of that building from Mayhem. I gotta say that Synergy could have done with maybe going for a 2-and-2 flank, but hopefully they'll learn from that.
Hopefully in
सबैलाई त्यो कम्पाउन्ड चाहिन्छ अब हाम्रो एनएजन बसेको त्यही भएर अब पुस खान्छ के एनएजनले त्यही भएर ल्याङ
Rip official. We can see the flank as well from Naruto. He catches one of the players in the open. No, he did. It's gone now, but you can see on the kill feed that he has downed IR2.
Yeah, 2 members of Nepali Honey knocked down. That's going to be a kill confirmed and a point 4 taken away by Soul on the side now.
Yeah, you can see Nepali Honey just going to be trying their hardest to get away with 2 of the players, leaving 2 behind to die. But in the midst of it, Tempest with the M4 rattling off as many shots as he can. But unfortunately, it seems like the players from Nepali Honey are able to get away over the hill. And they are fine. So 2 casualties. IR2 is obviously going to die here unless... Yeah, they've spotted him now, so he's going to die very, very shortly. That's more points for Rip official, going strong.
So Rip could have been a little bit more aggressive with how they went on to the disengaging members of Nepali. If the communication maybe had been a bit more on point, they could probably have gotten that job done. But Elementrix, they're actually going to take a kill away from Rip. So that's going to be 2 kills taken away from Rip in the early parts, as Godlike have been eliminated, as well as Nepali Honey.
Regaltos there almost laying the trap for the remaining players from Seoul just to catch Godlike off guard. Team IND have spotted the party here towards the compound that Seoul currently obtain.
And Stayer, he has the VSS. VSS is a bit of a controversial weapon. People either love it or hate it. The benefit of a VSS is it automatically comes with a 4x scope and it automatically comes with a silencer. So for the first 15 to 20 minutes of this game, it can really be beneficial. So they wouldn't really have had any huge idea of where those shots are coming from, which could put them under a bit of pressure and take away their mindset coming into the rest of the game. But look at this shift. You talked about Elementrix being really strong on their position. IND are going to be heading up Everest.
And obviously having this high ground also towards the top of the circle as well, it means they have that 180-degree angle. However, Elementrix looking to contest it here, as you can see the bottom left. It is going to be Kratos with the down onto Mr. Hyozu, but Poo Man Jr., they're still there as well. All the remaining 3 players from Elementrix can try and revive him.
Now, the position that Elementrix hold on to, it's not bad, but it should be a 2-1-1. It seems like they're going to get that revive, but let's not forget that Elementrix, they've lost on Everest before. Are they going to do it again?
Let's find out if it's going to be deja vu here towards the rocks at Everest, as Trance, Slayer, they're trying to throw in the grenades first to make the players from Elementrix a bit more supple and soft and easy to be crushed by their bullets. They're maybe struggling as well to find the right angle to try and get over this rock face.
But this is one of the few points and one of the few areas in the game where it's actually advantageous to be on the low ground compared to the high ground.
Interesting. I'm sure there's going to be lots to break down here, as this is quite a complex exchange between these 2 teams. Smoke grenades going out as well, trying to defer the vision as more grenades are thrown in over the top, but nothing really connecting just yet. And it seems like Elementrix are falling back, and maybe to try and get a better position here, as Trance is still struggling to flank.
It's a good idea by Elementrix. Disengage is not worthwhile, because all the while you're letting the likes of Megastars who rotated in from around ruins to gather on the east side of Everest, as well as Orb official. So we're going to have 2 to 3, 4 teams on Everest. That can't hold it. That's going to crumble. 2 to 3 of these teams are going to crumble in the next 5 minutes, Alex.
Oh, Megastars towards the bottom other side of Everest as well. In the meantime, Mad Dog and Yash from Orb Official have spotted a few of the players from Megastars. They down them. As well. 3 players out currently for Megastars, and only 1 player standing.
That's what I was talking about, right? You have 2 teams so close together on Everest. None of them are really going to benefit right now. It seems like it's going a little bit more to Megastars, but Orb Official, can they get the revives off?
Yeah, it's basically a 1 versus 1 here. 3 players from both teams are currently down. It's going to be
2 players
a CPR job here with the defibrillators to revive 3 players as fast as possible. Almost like StarCraft here, as they're building up their armies to go back again.
But we can't forget about the teams that are towards the south of Everest. You have Entity down towards above Ruins. You have Trusted Process, INS, and then Mayhem are coming in towards the edge of the circle. 0 degrees are a little bit down south. ETG Brawlers, they hold on to the edge of the circle in the southeast on their own. And then when you look at Fnatic and Soul, they are getting very close to clashing.
Let's see then, Elementrix still just holding the tip of the iceberg here at Everest. As you mentioned before, we can't forget of the teams towards the eastern side as well.
And Rip holds onto the center of the circle. They can shoot in all directions towards Everest, towards Runes, and of course towards Soul and Fnatic. I said that was a key compound. Soul held on to it, and they kind of let it go. But this phase 5, it heads up towards Everest, Alex.
Oh, Mayhem in the meantime gets wiped out clean by Team INS. And as you said before, it's the center as well, exactly where Elementrix are. So it will be contested for Elementrix. What do they do? They're sandwiched.
Hold out, stay passive, let the teams around them take each other out. They don't need to move too far. Yes, they're actually going for it. But stay a little bit closer with regards to that team to split. Let Mega X and Orb take each other out.
अनि टक्क मेगा एक्स्ट्रा अर्को थर्ड पार्टी हान्दै भने इजी
top, whereas actually behind him he still has Megastars having to deal with. Final boss has been revived. So Mazik has been spotted by
एकजनाले उता हेर्ने अनि तीनजना यता
as well in the open. Should be seen very shortly if Junior can get his eyes on him.
Just stay low, Elementrix. Stay safe. Keep an eye. Be aware of the fact that IND are still at your backs looking in. Soul now looking to move in closer towards the other circle. It's a risky play. Viper is on his own though, so he is doing a little bit of scouting, and he's actually going on top of Everest. Look at this.
Let's see. Mega still have 2 players down. Now Max Cash going to be down immediately by Final Boss. And in the midst of all of this, we've got Fnatic as well, who have some action versus Rip Official. We mentioned how important it was to have that center of the map, and Fnatic are trying to contest it currently.
Yeah, of course, 12 teams still left, 45 players alive. Scout OP getting in that vehicle. Solar also starting to connect, Alex.
Oh, it's Scout in the vehicle as well. Maybe going to be driving past some of the players from Soul. Actually jumps out towards the tree, using it as cover as Rakaltos has maybe the better angle here, proned behind the vehicle. Clutch got as well to the left side of him to try and flank around the side and get that side face onto it, but the grenades are going in from both teams, and currently none of them are connecting fully as Ragaltos is tagged just slightly, but it's going to be the explosion of the car that actually finally downs Ragaltos.
The two of the fan favorites going toe-to-toe against each other, Alex. Great grenades coming out from both teams.
Oh, Sky here from Rip Official as well, trying to third-party the action here versus these multiple squads. Fnatic are going to be in the midst of a 3-man, well, basically whitewash here as Scout trying his hardest to back up his team to the right, back up his team in front of him as well as he lays the smoke.
But the blue zone's closing in. It's phase 5. He has to get to the edge of the circle, and Soul are holding on to, so it's going to be so hard for Scout.
Oh, hard is maybe an understatement here. To the left, if he moves to the left, it's going to be Clutch God. If he moves to the right, it's going to be the players from Rip Official. And he does actually land the smoke prematurely, so we can try and use that as cover as the blue zone does come forward. So we have Scout still charging forward again. Clutch God, though, going towards the left side. Maybe has anticipated the fact that Scout has moved. Instead, going to be using the first aid kit. Back up to 80% HP, and with that, he's going to have the confidence to push in. I believe Clutch God as well is going to be reviving Ragaltos. He hears the footsteps. The guns come out, and it's going to be Scout to hit the deck. Oh, wow. Naruto, Rip Official as well. Third party again. Fnatic are out in 11.
Yeah, now we are down to 10 teams. Elementrix, IND, they have to move down from Everest as we get closer and closer towards the end of this game. 23 minutes in. Orb looking to pop shots off, but they have to move. And Elementrix are right in their tracks. We just lose INS.
So much action. So much to follow here as we enter the latter stages of map 1 of the final. You can see how much it means for these players. The level of play definitely has been heightened here in the first day of the finals. More players going down from trusted process as well. One of the fan favorites from Nepal dropping like flies.
An entity who held on to the east coast side of this circle for so long and stay quiet. Now they're moving in.
They are indeed. Elementrix on their vehicles. They're coming down Everest into the circle. 0 degree. Managed to do some damage to Neo. Naruto as well from Rip Official is killed by Dark. Mr. Hyoza from Elementrix is down 2. This play down the hill has been so poor from Elementrix, especially now as grenades go in as well.
And I'll tell you what, Jonathan from Entity, he's dangerous. Can he survive as Shigar? Connects quite nicely onto 0 degrees. Gets a knockdown.
Yeah, you can see they're actually currently just hiding as best as possible in the grass, shooting, and actually lands and connects the bullets onto Blazy. However, from behind, the Shaga goes down from one of the players from 0 degree. But again, the team from Nepal, Trusted Process, who really impressed us on day one. They're still here, they're still kicking, they're still firing. And it's Entity.
Let's see what can happen. Soul Clutch God does get knocked down, but Soul holding on to their position for so long. Grab a couple of grenades, rip, and take them out. Orb Official do go out in 8th place, 7 teams.
7 teams, 21 players. Maybe make it 20 now, as it's going to be Duku from Trusted Process going down. One of the players from Soul as well is downed.
Look, it's one real thing I want to mention quickly. No team are dominating the points board. It's very even. Soul are on top with 6 kill points.
Sky goes down, out in 7th. Now we have the calm before the storm. We're about to enter phase 7. Bit of a breather here as the team's trying to work out what is the best strategy.
And we're going to see phase 7 pop up. You can hear in your ears the crowd are going wild, and it's only game 1. Trusted Process do go out in 6th place. 5 teams left. Close Scott still going strong with 2 members of Soul left standing.
Elementrix again with the ring, or the circle, excuse me, what seems to be the 3rd, 4th, 5th time so far in game 1. So if you're Soul right now, you're such a mammoth task to climb, because you have to push forward, just as Jonathan is one of the players that you wanted to highlight. Hyozo managed to highlight Jonathan in his crosshair instead.
Nice shot.
Great job by Elementrix with that return. Knockdown stopped Entity in their tracks, but IND, they're the team to look out for, because they're still a full squad and they're kind of on their own on the edge of circle. I can see them taking this win. They just got to grab control of it.
IND was so strong yesterday. On the first day, they're quite quiet. We expected more from them. They finished 19th. Yesterday, they came, 2nd, 3rd in the top 3 at least. However, who's going to be top 3 here? It's Clutch God with the DP28, but unfortunately, he hasn't got 28 bullets here. He's got 0. As just next to him, Viper goes down as well from Dark.
You're leaving it too late, Soul, to move into the circle. You're going to be dying to the phase zone, because the blue zone does so much damage. Going to look to get that revive, and IND stay as a 4-man team. But look at this, Elementrix moving closer.
Clutch God reloads his DP28, goes for some more shots onto Elementrix. Can't quite connect it as Viper goes down. It's only going to be Clutch God here. Catches out Dark in the open, downs him as well. We have the goes for the finish as well. He needs those points we saw from Orange Rock versus Rip Official. How important those were. Entity out 5th.
Clutch God living by his namesake, getting the clutch shot, the clutch kill to bring their kill points for Soul up to 7 as he moves closer to the edge of the circle, but he's the last man standing for Soul.
Here come the Brawlers as well on the side of the Wings versus IND. I'm not sure if they've realized just yet, even Elementrix as well may be caught off guard.
IND creators purai aim गरेर बसेछ हाम्रो क्लच गार्डलाई.
4 players alive, 2 for Brawlers, 3 for Elementrix, only 1 Clutch God.
But just like that, we lose Elementrix. At the drop of a hat, they go down, and now it's going to be ETG Brawl.
Brawlers here, दुईजना छ अझै.
Sorry.
IND 4 जना छ guys.
ETG Brawlers, there you go, I can say it right. IND and Soul left standing, top 3 teams, game 1, Erangel of the finals.
At this point as well, Imperium, the placement points are so starkly different if you do finish 2nd or 3rd. So Clutch God can he try and sneak up the side here? Silently just caress his way behind ETG Brawlers and then spring up and catch them off guard.
Well, he's only got 35 seconds until this blue zone closes in. It is against them. As I said, IND, they've been the later phases in terms of the gods of the later phases. It's kept on their side. But in my opinion, they've got to spread themselves out a little bit thinner. They're too close together, because honestly, you give ETG Brawlers their space, even though they're only a 2-man team, they're going to punish you, Alex.
So
Heal पनि गर्न भ्याउँदैन हाम्रो क्लच गार्डले त हिल ब्याटल पनि.
Clutch God. Let's see him push forward. As you said, there's 4 seconds until the do it. There's only a few seconds left until the zone comes in, and here it comes. Let's see who's going to make the first move. Is it ETG Brawlers, or is it going to be Clutch God? He's going to be using the first aid kit. I don't think he has time here. He's going to go down. It's now just ETG Brawlers, iconic in the open, downed immediately. Just to low HP behind the tree, behind the vehicle. They may even be able to shoot the vehicle here and finish him off. Instead, Kratos just charges in. It's all down to 1 player now from ETG Brawlers. Let's see what he can do. Nova goes down. IND take game 1. You can see the elation on their faces as well. However, we saw such a strong fight from Team ETG Brawlers. Such a strong fight as well from Soul. And there we have it. Team IND take game 1.
Look at the crowd going wild at the end of game 1. I gotta say, at least the end of the play-ins are kind of living up to the start of the final stage. Two of the top 2 teams coming out from play-ins are the 2 teams surviving at the end of game 1, IND and ETG Brawlers.
You can see as well they're showing to the players, 6 it seemed like, maybe that's how many kills they had. I imagine that's what it is. So they're going to be doing very, very strong coming into this to day 1 of the final. Actually, they were quite a slow starter.
It was a very slow start. I expected that, and as I said, as I pointed out during the broadcast, no team really took control from a kill feed point of view, Alex. They were very even. It was kind of like 1 kill here, 2 kills there, 3 kills here and there. It was just very even between these teams coming into the latter parts of this game. But the team that I do think was the biggest winners was Seoul. The reason why is because when you look at their playing, I know it's reset, but you gotta take it in as an element. They struggle to come through. With the start of the final stage, with their 3rd place, Clutch God coming in strong, as well as the rest of the team. Very well done by them.
Mentioned the point as well back in spring, where Seoul came into the event, into the finals. After the semi-finals were played online, they came, I think it was really low in the rankings, 13th, 14th, and teams were saying that Seoul had fell off. However, when the pressure was there, they delivered and won the whole entire event and went straight to Berlin for the last finals. But obviously there's now 2 spots coming from India who have that straight ticket.
Now I do want to give credit to Elementrix. They, in the first time they played Orango on top of Everest, they looked so bad, but this game they held on to that area so nicely.
Credit to Elementrix, but credit to our analysis desk for done such a strong job. Let's hear more from Jason and the boys.
We have been lifting the break to stay strong as we continue into the analysis of that first match. We have to say, well, Clutch God living up to his name there. We'll talk about IND in a bit, but finally, the man we did not see much of in the prelims finally stood out.
I've said this time and time again, Clutch God is one of the best players here in the whole country. It's taken this long for him to come alive and do something with it, prove his name is really a Clutch God indeed. But what a time. What a time. If there's any time to do it, it's now.
Not only that, Clutch God being forced by the blue, multiple circles back to back, trying to rack up as many kills as possible. We saw Clutch God popping out the DP spray. I believe Clutch God had like 10 HP. At one point, still trying to get the kills. I mean, full-blown confidence over there. I can only imagine if Clutch God was to get the circle, they might have got second place.
Well, one thing he couldn't clutch was that healing medkit.
But then we also have to talk about Elementrix as well. You heard Imperium talk about it. They were able to take Everest. Last time they did it, they looked horrible. I think his Entity were the ones to push them out of that position. But this time, they had a change of fate. They played things a little bit different.
Yeah, I mean, it was around circle number 4. They pushed up there to Mount Everest. They were doing their best to defend it, but they were right on the top, tippy top, the peak. They couldn't hold all the angles, and we actually saw IND start to push up there. They got a knock, but then both teams were able to reset, and IND, not similar to what they did in the play-ins. I feel like if it was IND in the play-ins, they would have been full-blown aggression. Here, they were going for those placement points. They just sat, they just chilled, and kept getting favored.
That's the thing about Everest that I want to point out. A lot of the teams sometimes forget that you shouldn't be trying to control the whole Everest. That's exactly what we saw earlier from teams like Elementrix. The thing is, there are so many ups and downs on Everest that you can be vulnerable for a lot of areas. But you have to remember that if you can control a small pocket of just Everest and allow yourself enough control to have multiple exits in case you need to, just like what we saw earlier, you should be fine. That's not what we saw earlier, though, for the most part. Until the very end, it was like, wow, I think Elementrix trying to control the whole thing. Yeah. But when it came to the very end, there were like 3 teams sharing that small amount of map control, which is so much better.
And it took so long to move on down that mountain as well. The Brawlers were already in a very good position to take them out on their downhill trek. The Brawlers only had 3 alive, by the way. They had our first blood of the game. It was a drive-by, so good for the Brawlers to bring some hype over here. But like you mentioned, IND not getting aggressive there. They didn't want to go all the way up to the top there. Gatekeeping the squads all the way in the west, and what a play that was for them, because they were the only squad with 4 alive at the end.
Well, I just want to give a shout out to all those people who doubted IND yesterday. guess who? I guess it's not coming true. I guess IND's words of confidence in themselves are in fact reigning true here today.
Well, let's talk about something. Because we were wondering, coming from the prelims to the finals, would teams change up their style? We saw the prelims more aggressive play, especially in the day 2. But here it seemed like teams were playing a lot more cautious. We saw a ton more third partying out of a lot of teams.
I think teams are a little bit more confident in third partying, but not much else. Here's the thing, the rotations, they were all very, very passive. I mean, you saw that first and second circle, almost every single team was in the center already, which means they were confident to go for those positions in the circle, but they weren't confident enough to play the edges around it, which just tells us that there are still confident teams out there, but not by that much.
You know who had confidence?
Yep.
SGE. They were full-blown confidence. They were making the pull-up onto Mayhem. There is a perfectly cooked grenade from one of the members from Mayhem. Took out 2 from SGE right out the bat, and then SGE just crumbled from there.
So that's the thing. SGE, they did everything right in that situation. They got the knock. They started the rush. But they just didn't expect that nade to come and take them out.
Well, we can see our standings from the first game, and you can see our top 8. IND leads the way, ETG Brawlers in second, and a team we did not see in the top 5. I feel like the entire time, maybe even top 8 for the entire time. Team Soul off the back of Clutch God getting third.
Finally, after all this time, Soul wakes up. I told you, it's about the playoff mode. A lot of teams do this, especially the veteran teams. They stay quiet all tournament long up until the grand finals itself. And here we are, and look, Soul's now in 3rd place. And not in a bad spot either, because they did get 10 kills as well.
And then Orb racking out the bottom here of the top 8. There were also another squad fighting out there on Mount Everest. They were on the east side of the mountain, east of Elementrix, fighting with Megastars, and they were able to survive. Here we do see Megastars down there in the 13th position. Godlike, another team, getting taken down pretty early on. Not going to be getting too many points here, only 1.
Synerge and Godlike sitting at the very bottom, though. They got really, really unlucky at the end there. I thought Synerge, the moment they got that cleaned down on that siege and that compound, I thought that was going to be a clean wipe, but yeah, that nade was absolutely beautiful. Nepali Pony not too far ahead of them, actually, still having 1 point as well. We're going to expect to see them do a little bit later on.
Yeah, so we see Fnatic right here, another team that we got to talk about. I mean, 11th position here. They were trying to rotate on in. They crashed into Godlike. They were getting casualties, and then we saw Scout OP kind of pull off of that, and then ended up getting right behind Soul. We thought Scout OP was going to take down Soul, but they had some nice trades back and forth. Scout OP had some pretty good grenades, actually got one to knock. Then we saw Scout OP toss smoke to try to close that gap. Went for the confirm on one of the kills instead of the player that was up from Soul. Got taken down in the process. I like that Scout tried to get that extra point, just didn't work out.
I think that's Scout pushing in there actually kept them alive for that much longer. That play, getting into that car, was really, really clever. Just wasn't able to get in the down though. The timing really wasn't in his favor. He swung to the right side of the car on top of that smoke grenade, and then he got spotted first. Yeah, he was already tagged by the
Well, you can see how the circles did play out over the course of the first match, and you know, my kind of question to you guys as we look at this and analyze it is, how many games can you let slip by before you have to really pull it into crunch time?
That's a tough one.
I mean, about
well, there's a little bit more leeway now, I think, because we do have 18 matches. I think that maybe 4 or 5 games you can sleep on a little bit here, but not more than that.
I don't think any. I mean, you got to come in strong game number 1, especially day number 1. You got to set the point gap strong so that no team can catch up to you, like we saw with the Brawlers. They had a strong day number 1. No team can overtake them on day number 2. Yes, we have an extra day here, but if you are going to continue with that confidence like we saw from the play-ins from the Brawlers, no one can touch you. So whoever finishes 1st and 2nd today, I think they're going to be top 5 at the end of the tournament. That's my prediction. We'll see how many points they do get.
I feel like we're going to see something super crazy, though, in the third day or something.
I mean, maybe. One thing to also know here, we're looking at the circles, some interesting drop spots. We had Fnatic drop Mildy, Trust the Process at Nova. Rip, South George, or
$60,000
pretty strong spot, right?
USD $60,000.
I believe we have 8 more matches on Erangel. I'm curious if these squads are going to continue to drop in those same spots.
I don't imagine so. I do think that they have some comfort spots, but you don't want to ever be read by other teams that, yeah, they've been always dropping here. And after these many maps on Erangel, other teams kind of know, oh, they always drop here, they always drop here.
I think so. I think so. I mean, if you have a town that you can loot early on and no one contests it, why not continue going there?
I mean, you had for our officials, OR was the team that's contested. But let's actually take a look at our top 5 players from the last match, and I can almost guarantee Clutch God has to be in there in some route. And there you see, currently #1 with the most kills, a ton of damage behind that as well.
This is something that has taken so long, and probably actually even too long, to happen. Clutch God normally used to seeing him at the very, very top of the scoreboard all of the time with those high damage, high kills. I mean, it's a miracle that he only got 4 kills with that amount of damage. 813 damage. That's insane.
Not only that, it was Clutch God versus 4 members of IND versus 2 members of the Brawler there at the very end. So
4v2?
Yeah, exactly. So 4 kills. I mean, they had all eyes on them that previous game. IND, like we mentioned, 3 kills. They got 2 players up there. Entity Gaming, I mean, we didn't really talk about them. We didn't really see much from them this game, but good thing that they were able to get 2 kills and end up on the leaderboard.
Well, the important part I'm seeing here for IND is, as you mentioned, Mustache Dave, going into, I believe it was like Circle 6. They had all 4 players alive. It was the only squad with all 4 players alive, and they had 0 kills at that time. So they were really trying to go for the cleanup crew kind of route.
I think the cleanup crew route is safe. It's not always the best route, because then you could run into other teams who are also trying to clean up crew. But then, you know, I think it's okay. I think it's not the best strategy to employ. I think it's better to have an own set strategy than to play reactive throughout the whole game.
I mean, clean up all day. Clean up, especially if you're getting the chicken dinners. I mean, the chicken D's, that's 20 points right there. So we'll see. With this game #1 already done, IND got a chicken dinner in their stomachs if they're full or if they're still hungry for some more.
But what a big switch up we have up next, though. If I'm not mistaken, the next map should be Sandhawk. So this is going to be probably the least comfortable map for all teams to play in. And as I've said time and time again in the past, Sandhawk is the map that flips the script completely today, and I'm hoping that we see it.
Yeah, I mean, right now, for me personally, day #1, I'm going to be looking at every single map. I'm going to be checking out where squads drop and comparing it to tomorrow to see if there's any change-ups, any new drop locations like you're kind of hoping for. Personally, I think it's just going to be the same thing over and over again in the next 3 days, and it's going to be the circles that are going to be the deciding factor on if teams can rotate and deal with their drop locations.
I think the biggest thing that'll actually change is if a team like ETG Brawlers, if a team like that doesn't find that success, or Team IND, then we'll start to see changes in drop locations. But until then, I'm going to agree with you. I don't think they're going to change that much.
Well, IND, ETG Brawlers, they've been our most consistent teams over these last 2 days, and now going into day #3, we're going to find out if we can continue that route. Also give a shout out, by the way, to C1X, the official smartphone of the Pmco Fall Regionals here in South Asia. We're going to head over to the stage though to hear from your man, Clutch God, as he talks about that last game.
While Team IND played a beautiful game and they took home the first chicken dinner, I have with me Clutch God from Seoul, who is the MVP with the most amount of kills, and you took your team into the 3rd place in the very first game. How do you feel about doing this all over again?
बस very normal है, क्योंकि I have the capability to do these things. So
that is what confidence sounds like. He's like, yeah, it's a normal thing. I just got to do what I got to do. But your choice of weapon, you were using the DP towards the end to spray all over ETG and IND. Wow, why?
Because I didn't have ammo for M4.
So you basically made the most of what you had available at that point. Were you at any point of time?
Because I had to switch it, because I had like 40 ammo on my M4. So I just switched it then and then. Right then, when I killed, I think, I don't know, RIP. After RIP, I switched my weapon to DP.
But do you think if you had a better gun and more ammo, you might have just gone for the chicken dinner and taken down the entire team by yourself? Possible?
Nah, I don't think.
Come on, I think you can.
That ain't possible.
Okay, let's go for the next match, but after a short break right now.
नेपाली टिम सबैको सपोर्ट केटाहरू जो भए नि सक्दो तीनैवटा टिम के अरे ग्लोबल फाइनलमा पुग्दै हुन्थ्यो नभए नि एकजना टिम चाहिँ पुग्दै हुन्थ्यो अनि गाइजहरु जो कोही पनि नयाँ हुनुहुन्छ लाइक शेयर सब्स्क्राइब गर्न चाहिँ नभुल्नु होला आज पनि केही गर्छ केटा सानोमा बेसी 100 लाइक्स ल जो पनि नयाँ हुनुहुन्छ यत्रो 67 को वाचिङ छ र गाइस 100 लाइक्स चाहिँ मलाई बोलाएर 16 वर्षले सेटमा पनि म 12 वर्ष त नि
What prevents you from becoming the real deal?
कलर नगरेको वाला टिभीमा नि आउँछ ब्रो है टिभीमा म तिमीले मेरो युट्युब च्यानल खोलेर हेरे पनि आउँछ
Downloading. They always get into the field quicker than you. Falling behind? No, not gonna happen. Stay calm and be cool. Nothing will stand in your way. A true hero must step up to defeat the enemies when there's no one to count on. Vivo Multi-Turbo, a real strong core makes you a real professional player.
Welcome to the Pubg Mobile Lite Halloween. We're happy to bring you our Halloween-themed mode, Survive Till Dawn. In this new mode, players will undergo 3 days and 2 nights of harsh trials. Survive the attacks of zombies and other survivors to become the last person standing. Do you want to see dawn break on the 3rd day? Then you'd better remember the following tips for survival. Collect as many supplies as you can during the day. You can never have too much ammo or medicine. Before night falls, search for a good building to hide in and prepare your defenses. Zombies appear during the night. The zombies can find you no matter where you hide. So your best tactic to fight the zombies right now is to squat inside a room with only one exit and kill the zombies with cover from your teammates. We've prepared an even greater surprise for you, other than the normal zombies. A mysterious organization will use airdrops to distribute their biochemical experiment, Payman. This powerful elite zombie descends from the sky and tries to kill all enemies within sight. The greater the danger, the greater the rewards. The map shows you a payment will drop from the sky. Kill it to get powerful weapons as your reward. The M134 minigun and flamethrower. These 2 Survival Till Dawn exclusive weapons can definitely help you survive these 3 days and 2 nights. But remember, zombies aren't your only enemies, as other survivors are also a threat to you. So don't hesitate to eliminate them. Once you manage to survive, you'll get the unique achievement Until Dawn. Team up with your teammates to play Survive Till Dawn during Hallow Weeks.
Welcome back to the Pmco South Asia Regional Finals, and I'm not going to lie, if I had to play Survive Till Dawn, I'm getting my boy Clutch God on my team, because what he did in the last game was phenomenal. I'm still Jason Kappen, joined by lovely gentlemen towards my left-hand side as we put the first game in the books, and we look forward to the second on Sandhawk. And this is where things are interesting. This is what we talked about before. Consistency is something that all the teams need to be able to pull off to be able to be successful here today. Do we think ETG Brawlers and IND can still do it?
Well, clearly, yes. ETG Brawlers, big question mark whether they were going to show up in the playoffs or not, as well as IND, but here they are, going first and second, respectively, in the first game here in Erangel. Now, I know that's upcoming is Sandhawk. I should expect things to change in that one, but who knows? Maybe not by much.
Yeah, especially when the Brawlers aren't favored at all these circles. I mean, they were just forced every single time to continue pushing in the edge. So, looking at Sandhawk matches for both those squads of Brawlers and IND, we only got 2 maps to go. Kind of similar to the Brawlers on Erangel. They had a 1st and a 16th. Sandhawk, a 1st and a 16th. So it's like we can't really pinpoint exactly how the Brawlers will perform on this map.
Well, maybe they'll get 8th this time.
Level it out. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see how it is. And then IND had a 13th and a 2nd. So if we were to kind of even it out, Brawlers definitely stronger on Sandhawk.
I mean, it's hard to say though, but the thing is, when it comes to it, I do think that IND have a little bit of an advantage when it comes to Sandhawk. ETG are good, and I think the strength on ETG relies on their communication and their late game strength, but that's not something that is as prevalent in a map like Sandhawk, which is more about reacting and fighting more than one team at once. That's something we've seen IND excel at time and time again.
Exactly. But we haven't seen that in game number 1. They were playing extremely passive. If we were looking at IND from yesterday, I stand by it. They would have pushed up the hill and got those kills.
Whole different squad.
Whole different squad, exactly. So hopefully they're not going to play too passive here and let these points slip out of their grasp, because if we were still comparing the Brawlers, they're still playing like the Brawlers from day 1.
But they're still playing exactly the same, I'd say. Sure, they picked up a little bit, but it's still finding them the consistency. It's just they're not getting the circle. I think just in the first map today, the circle just was not with them. That last push was almost impossible to do at that point.
But we need to start talking about a couple of teams that have snaked their way up into the top 8 that we have not really seen before. Team Seoul, we're going to have to mention. Clutch God, who was quiet in the prelims, has started to show up. Even RIP Official making their way through in there as well, as they play 16 out of the prelims. 0 Degree, that's generally where they were for the most part, as well as Entity. But we're starting to see some new blood come up, and maybe that's just the finals kicking in.
You know, that's the thing. I just want to point out Entity Gaming just a little bit, because their team that looks so confident, whether it's sieging compounds, whether it's entering together as a team, whether it's taking that map control that they had earlier in that Everest area. I think they're looking just so good, so dominant, and it shows in their game. I'm looking forward to see what they have for the rest of the days.
Hey, I'm looking forward to Seoul. I mean, after a great game number 1, that's going to put them on the right track here. I mean, looking back at yesterday's performance, finishing off in 15th position, just barely making it. Maybe it was them just coasting. Today is the real Seoul, and hopefully we'll expect more from them moving forward.
I think so. I think we're starting to see that, because we're starting to see the pieces of Seoul, come alive. Like Mortal, he's been making better decision makings. I think especially in the last part of the first game. Clutch God has been waking up, and that's very, very interesting to me. Now you can actually see them go heads up, and as you can see, Clutch God, wow, 800 damage on him, and on IND's Daljitsk, he gets 512 damage himself.
And I did notice that Seoul, they were kind of sticking together this previous game as well. Like you mentioned, Mortal, back in the previous play-ins, was kind of always alone, trying to scout, and then they would get taken down and out, and then the whole team kind of just crumbled. So I do like that they are staying close together this game when they can.
I think it's overall a better look. They seem more coherent, seem like they're communicating better. I think Seoul are looking like contenders, finally, looking like the Seoul that we want to see.
Exactly.
And I feel kind of bad, because I feel like we're a little bit tough on Clutch God. But the reason he's picked up was for that firepower, right? And finally playing a little bit of a revenge game there. You mentioned before, peeking out with the DP with like 10 HP and still being that aggressive, that confident. Even a teammate coming over to drop him some meds so he can heal back up. Really putting the resources into that one player.
Yeah, I mean, we heard in the interview, right? Not the favorite gun, the DP, forced to use the DP because he only had 40 bullets left on the M4. And we saw him using that M4 at that clutch moment, clutch moment, trying to confirm the kills, because he was tagging the enemies with the DP, but he wasn't able to get the full knock. So he quickly switched off when he had to reload, get the knock, and then get the confirmed kill. So
honestly, I think if he were a little bit more lucky with a circle, that could have been his game, to be honest.
Or had more ammo for the M4, because I mean, when you compared him on the DP and the M4, I mean, it was nice
different thing entirely, right? I mean, when he went for those spray downs, those are things that he'd normally never miss.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little harder to control, especially because he wasn't prone, right, to use that tripod on the DP. But nevertheless, M4 Clutch God. Favorite gun.
But one other player we're going to have to talk about is going to be ETG Brawler's Dark. We talked about him many times on day one because he was always the top fragger for the team when they got their first 3 chicken dinners. And we asked him, or we asked in our heads, can they win without him performing well? He's a support player with quotation marks in the air. Can he rise up yet again? Because that's when they were performing well, was when he was picking up a lot of these kills.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's not his job. So inherently, it's supposed to be Dark sitting back anyway, and they still will be able to play fine, still be able to do well. Technically, as a support player, he's not supposed to be getting the kills anyway. That's just bonus added on top of it, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what we were saying all day yesterday and the day before, because every single time we saw the damage and the kill leaders, Dark was up there, I feel like 9 out of 10 times. And then eventually towards the final games, I feel like Dark still putting up the numbers when it comes to damage, but giving their teammates those kills to kind of catch up to them.
I think maybe they should swap him out for a different role and just put him on a solo.
No. Keep Dark what Dark's doing because it's working. You know, don't mess with Dark right now.
Wait, one team that gave him some troubles was Trust the Process. They were able to take the first chicken dinner out of their hands away from them. And luckily for us, we got to actually chat with them and learn a little bit more about the team.
Nepal support Sagar right Nepali team guys.
Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Pmco for interview.
TDP interview
from all the way from Nepal. Let's welcome the Trust the Process. Thank you so much guys. Hi.
Thank you.
You guys seem low a little. Aapne lunch kiya?
Still haven't.
All good?
Yeah, all good.
We will be having a basic conversation. Something related about the game, team, how guys gel up. Okay, shall we start?
Yeah, sure.
So let's start from the introduction.
My name is Shayaman. I'm from Noida, and my in-game name is TDP50.
My name is Gurung Sagar. My IGN name is TDP Sagar.
My name is Esewa Rai. My in-game name is TDP with Server.
My name is David Limbo, and my in-game name is TDP Dogu Dogu, and I play support for the team.
Dogu Dogu. Dogu Dogu supports. So, you guys didn't mention your roles.
My role is NK Salta of the team.
I'm IGL and Sniper.
I'm the Assaulter.
So let's get started. The very first question, how was the team formed? How was the team? When was this team formed?
We started, me and Utsaga, we started playing from season 3 together. We are friends, real life friends, we used to play. Then we slowly started playing, and then there were many teams from Nepal. There used to be tournaments and all, and then we used to be not there. So we wanted to be there. And then we used to play scrims, like the custom rooms and all. There used to be like, we used to win the games, but we used to not get the shoutouts. Then we used to get a bit, sad, like we won the game, but they don't shout out to us because we are not a clan, like we don't have a clan tag and all. So that's why we thought, like, I think we should form a clan, group of friends, real life friends. So we thought of that, and then we made a clan. So yeah.
It was interesting.
Yeah.
Shoutouts.
Yeah, shoutouts.
How did you get this name? Trust the Process.
Oh.
Trust the process. It's all about the journey, not the destiny.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like there were many teams from Nepal who were like ahead of us from tournaments and all and rooms and all. We were nothing before back then. So we made a decision to make a team. So and then I thought a name of like something which recognize our team. So I thought like we were late. We were like way below from the other Nepal teams. So we thought a name of Trust the Process. So we made it short form to Trust the Process. So, yeah.
Accurate. Too accurate. So like ending this conversation, it was a good experience for me too. Plus I was feeling really good because as I'm also Nepali. So, thank you so much, Apai.
Thank you for having me.
It was a good experience for me
too.
I was feeling really good because as I'm also Nepali. So thank you so much, Apai.
Thank you for having us.
Ending this, I want you should deliver something. You should say to your fans, family.
All the Nepali fans who've been supporting us till now, and I hope we'll have some Indian fans after this PMCO.
Thanks to my family who've been supporting me till like 3-4 months, I've been trying to play full-time PUBG right now, so thank you to them.
I want to thank my parents and my friends for believing in me.
Shit.
Well, you got at least one American fan up here on the desk for you. Predictions, give me. Predictions, give me them.
I think that we're going to start to see TDP finally wake up.
I trust the process.
Okay, well, thanks again to Vivo for being the official title sponsor of the Pmco South Asia Regional Finals. We're going to go over to our casters to get underway with our second match of the day. It's Sandhawk, it's Alex Byfield and Imperium.
Sometimes they ain't everything not together. So yeah.
Yes, Jason, that is correct. Game 2 of day 1 of the finals here. Still 2 more days to play. And yes, Dave may be the American fan of Trusted Process on the desk, but I've got an Irish one right here.
Yes, Trusting the Process indeed. And it's funny because they talked about the name in the interview, and when I saw them in the spring split and when I got a hold of them, it was a name that stood out for me because to me, any kind of sport, esports, any kind of competitive game, I feel like having a process and a mindset, you have to trust yourself. You have to trust how you play your game, however it evolves. So let's see how Trusted Process can do in Sandhawk. Now, one real quick thing, in Sandhawk, they're actually the team that scored the least amount of points of all these 16 teams. They've only scored 3 points in the 2 Sandhawk games we played in Vegas.
Ouch. You heard it there from Imperium. Maybe not looking too strong here on Sandhawk for Trusted Process. But let's see what's about to happen as the plane went from south to north on the left-hand side of the map towards Camp Alpha there at the top and Hatin as well. However, Imperium, majority of teams currently flooding towards the right side.
Yes. Let's see what is going to go down. How these teams are going to look to rotate. Of course, the circle is going to be ever so important wherever FaZe want to show up. And I mentioned about Trusted Process being the team that scored the least amount of points in Sandhawk. The teams that have scored the most, the top 3, are IND. They scored 55 points in 2 Sandhawk games. ETG Brawlers, the top of the table leaderboard, they scored 34 points in 2 games. And 0 Degree, a team that surprised us all, they scored 33 points in 2 Sandhawk games.
Seeing the teams as well fairly scattered across the map, just splitting up, not for clues, but instead for loot to try and get the best weaponry and loadout going into the final phases of Sandhawk. Obviously, these early games in the finals are pivotal for these teams to not just gain points on the standings, but to gain confidence and 3. But just to compare that to the play-ins, we saw a few teams go the opposite way. Team Blind being the major one for me, finishing top 10 and then finishing 20th the next day.
Of course.
You only fast side bro tai bhara मैले यही
लगाइदिरा But I tell you what,
death taxes.
Yeah, death taxes and phase 1 circle in this game 2 of the final stage. It's more northerly, but it's heavily on the mainland, so it should be pretty good for most of these teams, especially 0 Degree, who ended and landed around Tapmock. They can rotate quite nicely into the center of the circle.
Oh my goodness, Paratosh there is just dancing around those bullets from Shagar. Does get away just with what? 10, 15 points of damage being done. Has a Red Bull as well, sorry, an energy drink as well, so can just down that and get up to full HP, but probably going to be saving that for later on. That's
good. It's like those early game fights, not fights, but even just kind of throwing those bullets in the direction of your opponents. It just pushes them away, so it's kind of going to, you know, maybe knock a little bit off Fnatic's perch for now, but it's early game. Indeed, and I want to talk about ETG because yes, they pulled in some dominant performances on the play-ins, getting 4 chicken dinners out of 6. But one thing I did notice is in the games that they didn't play, or the games that they didn't win, their highest point scoring game was 6. So I wonder, are they the kind of team where they either play really good or they play really bad? Of course, with 18 games in this final stage, We will find out, but that definitely is on my mind, Alex.
Doing well so far, though, finishing second in the first game versus IND. So, currently on the map, obviously it was towards the northeastern side of Sanhok. Some of the teams as well that landed towards Camp Alpha, Team IND, Megastars as well, going to be seeing them rotate instead towards Batin, then go to the right eastern side towards Tatmok, and then probably come back down, so must go around the rotations and avoid those teams in the center of the map towards Bootcamp and Barn.
So yeah, as we see the overview of the map on our screen, so we see how these teams are looking. Most of the teams are inside the circle quite nicely. The teams that are outside the circle right now will be Nepali Honi down in around the dock area, ETG Brawlers and Orb, although they are getting close to clashing against each other. And Elementrix did land around Ruins, so they have to rotate into the mainland. Of course, Seoul, they're in Kampong. They have a nice, easy entrance into the circle. They can take that main road and head in towards Ban area.
Ooh, heading towards Barn, or maybe it's going to be Yash coming into this barn instead, as Sangwan has been left alone from ETG Brawlers, maybe getting slightly too greedy with Blue. He is going to be exiting here. However, if he does go in towards the tree terrain, he might get caught from behind, maybe caught by surprise. Seems unlikely though. It looks like Orb official haven't quite heard the steps or seen it, as they haven't pulled the trigger just yet.
Not just yet, but Yash is on the front line for his team. We'll be aware, actually, all the while, ETG Brawlers, the members in the distance, popping shots off towards Orb, and that's going to be a knockdown.
Ironically, though, it's actually one of the players from ETG Brawlers who got the first shot into it, but it is so far a 1-for-1 exchange in terms of players being downed between ETG Brawlers and Orb official, as Max Cash managed to get away, but that's still going to be Massic down, which Mad Dog has to deal with. However, Yash gets one kill, the first kill here in game 2, and may make it a second and a third if one of the players here from ETG Brawlers gets caught out. However, Elementrix may want to third-party this exchange between these two teams.
But that's what we talk about with Sanhok. Third party can be so important in Sanhok. I feel like it's less important with PUBG Mobile compared to PUBG PC from what I've seen so far, but when it happens, it can really be a big kick in the face to the team that does get third party. Elementrix avoiding that, moving on forward in a circle, that's a wise play by them.
What's very surprising for me is how, well, basically every single team is on the south side of the circle. We didn't see any teams, as I expected, to rotate through Ruins, cross the waters of Camp Alpha, and go right around all of the other squads. Instead, they've all rotated upwards through the center, so we should be seeing an extremely action-packed finish on this map.
Yeah, they have generally been more direct rotations for the teams, but that's okay for Sanhok because it's a smaller map, Alex. You just got to be aware of where the teams around you have landed, know that information, and that's where an experienced, competent IGL will come into play for any of these teams in the final stages. When we look with Phase 1 closing in and getting into Phase 2, there's a cluster of teams around the center of the circle, going from the north to the south, so more vertical rather than horizontal right now.
Very interesting indeed. Do you believe that's because the major points of the circle are towards that southern side? Yes. Boot Camp, for example, Tatmok as well being left almost vacant, which is strange.
Definitely, and even Paradise Resort that INS hold on to. It can be hard to disengage from it, but if you could hold on and keep control of Paradise Resort, that can actually hold two teams for quite a decent period of time that Paradise Resort is inside the circle. But if you can hold on to it as one team, you can really take advantage of it against the teams around you. But we're definitely seeing the teams getting closer. Solar moving in and Elementrix popping off.
Oh, Elementrix, Ranji spots out. Regaltos takes him down and eventually he will be dispatched of. One of the players, fan favorite Soul, already decredited out of this matchup. The second player to be taken out of the server, and it's from Soul this time. And as I say that, Aman from Entity is downed as well.
Those are two teams that actually came very close in terms of finishing position of game 1, 3rd and 4th respectively. So that's going to be tough for Soul, losing a member early on in this game in Sanhok. It takes away a level of vision, takes away a level of awareness.
Viper as well, out of this one. all down to Clutch God and Mortal to try and get a good standing here on Sandhawk. This is very surprising.
And it's funny because I think part of why they lost 2 members early on was actually part of what you mentioned. And even though I said that generally it's okay to rotate into a circle in a more direct route once you know where the teams are around you, yes, Seoul did a more direct route, but because they weren't aware and they were separated, they paid the price. You gotta stick together early on in this game. The analysts talked about it in game 1. They did that, but they're not doing it in Sandhawk, where it's, in my opinion, a little bit more important.
I actually really like this 2-2 split right now from Rip Official. Legend and Naruto ganged up together here by the rocks on the left, and then we've got Tempest and Sky at the top there.
Yeah, of course, touch upon it. Great pointing out there where Rip have gone for that 2-2 split. It means that there's a higher chance that they can create a bit of a cloak effect and just smother 0 degrees. Of course, you do have that one member on the east side of the compound on its own, but because it is technically a 2v3 between Legend and Naruto and the 3 members of 0 degrees, it is going to be a little bit harder for Rip to push through that for now. They have to be calculated and use that split to their advantage.
Team IND crossing the river currently from the Camp Alpha side over to the east. Thankfully, as we mentioned just, 2 minutes ago, there's no one currently in boot camp, which was surprising for me to see, but it's going to be very beneficial for Team IND.
You only really want to hold on to boot camp in the first 3 phases if it's really, really central to the circle. Otherwise, you don't really want to stay there. You just want to take the loot and rotate out. That's what Trust the Process have done. They've gone a little bit more down south, as you do see this map in front of you guys. You talked about it, IND. They're making a nice rotation. The winners of game 1 looking confident, knowing that they can do better. But look at Nepali Honi. They're making a nice rotation from the south, staying quite safe. Orb and Trust the Process are taking a couple of shots at each other. Of course, we did see then Elementrix get a first kill for them onto Seoul, and the phase 2 is shifts up north. Tapmok, Mong Nai, Camp Bravo, and the mountainous areas around it are going to be so important for the team to rotate, especially the ones down south.
Yeah, maybe Rip Official are going to be regretting leaving Camp Bravo at this point, but then again, they are directly center of the circle in this game so far. As we have Orb Official on our screens currently splits 2-2 essentially, or 2-1-1, as they just basically loot up the compound here, and then they're moving and rotating away. Like
a team that I'm looking at that are rotating, in my opinion, quite negatively. Actually, no, I'll get upon that later. Mayhem ETG.
Whoa, what's going on here? Dark's gone out the server. The best player currently for ETG Brawlers, Naruto as well in the midst of it, joins Legends as they are down. So lots of action here coming to the precipice of our screen. Potentially going to be converted into a kill shortly, as Reds was able just to rattle off so many shots. However, in the midst of all of this, look at Iconic going around the side. Does he realize that actually there's a player directly behind him? I don't think so.
Yeah, now we are seeing Rip and 0 degrees going out. Unfortunately, camera isn't panning around, so we can't see an idea of who's really coming out on top. It seems like 0 degrees are actually getting the better of Rip. We'll find out. We have seen Nova also get knocked down for ETG Brawl. So great play by them, but Vampire OP getting returned with that third party.
Mayhem shooting off into the distance, into the terrain towards Synergy. Actually cloaked there, downing Servi. Couldn't quite see it, but it seems like he's going to be very easily revived because of how much cover there is just to get behind the rocks, get behind the hill, and just revive your teammates. Ooh, there you have it, Iconic. As we mentioned, didn't expect Mortal to be behind him. You can hear the roar of the crowd as well, as ETG Brawlers Imperium are taking out 16th, and you were right. You said the other do very well or very poorly. Is that because of aggression, potentially?
It's just they have to find that consistency in terms of performance, but this is only game 2 of the final, so I will reserve that confirmed judgment until we get later on into the games and of course into the days of the final stage. As you see, Megastars, I didn't initially like their rotation heading in to Paradise Resort as opposed to going up north, but they are getting the better of INS for now. Fnatic possibly looking to join them, or are they actually going to rotate around? I would much prefer that Fnatic plays the forward-thinking movement of actually going around, go up northwards, and occupy the compound that is actually split between where Paradise Resort is and the two teams of 0 Degrees and RIP.
Megastars and Team INS about to lock horns here inside Paradise Resort. The grenade goes in. Unfortunately, it's a bit too far to the left.
It's a 4v3 right now for the members of Megastars right now, so they do have that man advantage. But one thing that can be hard is actually entering into Paradise Resort successfully. They got us good for now, but Fnatic from behind, third party.
Oh, they are indeed a waste though. Maybe bits off more than he could chew as he does go down. Again, same salient point. Very easy to be revived here, as of course we're seeing Kisley being brought back up to his feet. Paratosh though trying to get to the high ground, it seems.
And final boss, I like that. Stay around, use your TPP awareness where you have a bit more of a view, but Scout OP knocked down.
Knocked down and out as well. It's going to be Vexy from Megastars to take him down. Mad Dog as well from Orb Official taken out of this equation. But look at the flank currently from Team INS. Bishma wanting to get some more kills here, more points for his team, as he did very well in the play-ins into this one. Final boss coming away from where Fnatic were trying to help his team here with INS.
But right now, Megastars are actually coming out kind of on top. They've got 2 kills out of these 2 teams for now. Fnatic, get the hell out of there. Just disengage from that skirmish. It's not worth your while, as Megastars knocked out with the grenade.
Brilliant grenade there from Joker. 2 players down, and now you can see this. Final boss is very, very caught up in an awkward situation. Gets one onto Smokey. Tries to do more as Bishma is just there to the left, but more players falling here for Megastars. This is all down to Avi versus 2 players, Joker and Bishma. But they're going to be falling back a little bit, more tentative here. This may allow Avi to revive his teammate.
Well, yeah, that's because what Avi did so effectively was not only did he get the knockdown, he confirmed the kill. That said to INS, we are not winning this right now. Back off, reposition, and see what we can do from there. But we did see phase 3 shift. It went actually down south, so it is kind of favoring the teams that stayed around that southern area. And of course, Paradise Resort is still inside the circle, Alex.
Yeah, very prevalent there from Megastars to win that exchange and actually being able to revive Vexy. So they still have 3 players here in commission. Let's take a look as well at Team INS, who only have 2. So Drigger and Smokey were taken out. So Megastars, as you said, they took a player of Fnatic, they took 2 of INS. Now they have control of Paradise Resort, which is very important here. As we do move into more action. Mayhem versus Elementrix. This is going to be Reds that is down and killed eventually by Cuckoo Man. I don't believe I just said that, but it's KK. Let's see if he can believe that just moments away, meters away, he has opposition to try and deal with.
As far as I know, that is the last member of Mayhem, if I'm not mistaken, that is going to be up. Of course, Cloak is knocked down, but he's going very close. Yes, it is going to be, it's KK that's going to be the last man standing for Mayhem. Kill is confirmed on the Cloak. Nepali rotating from south. I'm talking about Fnatic. I know they're not on our screens, but they're still hovering to the west of Paradise Resort, and they're actually heading more down south towards the direction of IND. I don't really agree with that. I feel they should have gone more up north because there's a lot more space for them to really kind of push in onto the likes of 0 Degree and RIP, as well as even potentially Entity. But let's see how it does work out for Fnatic for now, as the last member of Mayhem is staying prone.
Seen a few valiant solo plays from Clutch God. We saw it from Shagar as well from Trusty Process yesterday. But the issue is the Elementrix are so close, and even Major Alpha as well is there in the exchange. But my goodness, it's going to be Sin and G that make their mark here, as this may be the saving grace for Mayhem, as Sin and G the mess that his team failed to do.
Yeah, good stuff coming out from Major Alpha from a distance, getting that knock down. As we see, they are also looking to pop shots off. They're on the edge of the circle on the east side. They do have plenty of space. There's no teams to the south or really to the north. There's only Sky left from RIP, so he's just going to be holding out onto his position. 0 Degree, yes, they were actually winning out that fight between RIP. That was nice of them to see, but we can't deny what Entity can do. Entity, they have that kind of crossroad position that they can really punish teams that stays or shifts down south. All of a sudden, Trust the process. IND, they are very nicely in the circle, Alex.
It's going to be a gold rush, it seems, to get into these two compounds which are adjacent to each other inside the center of the circle. Obviously, there is a road splitting it, so maybe one team occupies the north side of the road and the other team could occupy the south.
It's going to be so hard for the 6-7 teams that are around the north and the east side of the circle that they didn't lose that position. INS, Megastars, what are they going to do? Entity should have a nice play. We're seeing Synergy move in. What is going to happen as this is Nepal, Godlike, and Orb in the southern side of this circle?
Yeah, they still have to push forward as soon as we get to, 10 seconds away once Phase 4 starts to restrict the playing area. We're going to see a bloodbath there towards the southern side. But in the meantime, Mortal is down. Clutchgod as well, quite far away. Look how much open terrain there is to cross. Maybe, just maybe if they had smoke grenades. But yeah, I don't think it's going to happen.
It's that third party effect, right? We don't even see that Entity player on our camera view. So that was the third party coming in strong, punishing Soul, and Junior knocks down Mortal. It's just Clutchgod left standing. And once again in the second game of the day, what's he going to do because he's not even in the circle?
We've just lost RIP official. Remember, ETG Brawlers were out first, and Clutchgod tries to get his first kill in this game. Does get Junior down. He hasn't got quite the kill just yet.
Synergy comes in and wipes out Elementrix at the drop of a hat. See you later, Elementrix, and that does help Clutchgod.
Really, really does, because look how close they were before that. They had the top of the hill.
Alex white finish guys.
Now still alive and has a few teams close, but actually Synergy are rotating away.
Well, Synergy are kind of rotating into the circle because they're still not in it. They do have Entity to the north of them. That can help Clutchgod. It is only Phase 4, so yes, it will do a bit more tick damage, but it's not going to be super punishing, so he can wait out for now and see what happens. All the while, we still have that north fight between the two teams of Megastars and INS Fnatic. They move down south. They've got that compound on the edge of the circle, but there's no team directly in the center as Godlike moving on to Nepali
Honey about to take some bullets, potentially to the dome, but it seems more like to the hut as NHB can't really peek out towards the window, can't peek out as well towards the door. That's because there's a 4-4 locked in and loaded ready to just expose him. And they're outside the zone as well, so they're just taking continuous ticking damage. This is really just a ticking time bomb, essentially, before they are dispatched of, as they have to get inside the circle and then deal with these opposition.
But like I said, it's only Phase 4. The damage isn't going to be super detrimental, but INS Megastars.
Oh, look at Avi as well over the top here with the hip fire spray. Takes down one of them. Blazy is out, and Avi as well can be joining the mix here. It's all down to Joker, and here we go. And what's going on here? Whoa. Has he just done what I think he's just done?
God, what has happened?
Gosh, Bishma with the 1 versus 2. Avi and Co, they try and come over the top. Bishma with the hip fire spray transfer takes them both out, and INS somehow, in some miraculous way,
now you saw Entity, they took out 0 Degree, they took out Soul as well. Clutchgod is out of it. We are down to 18, 26 players. When we look at the Phase 5 circle, it's centered up, Alex. IND inside it, Trust the Process inside it, Synergy are inside it, but what's more important is there's no real compound in the center that the teams can really grab hold of, so it's going to be all edge play and potentially third partying.
This is where utility, smoke grenades, vehicles, if any of the teams have them, are very, very important to use as cover.
Like, share and subscribe
revive teammates or use as obstacles.
And of course, the sneaky play that the teams are going to have to look to use. Fnatic, they're not too far away from the circle, but Synergy, they've connected on the Godlike for now. Major Alpha also getting that What is going to happen? Just 2 players left for them as Fnatic. They make their way closer, but they've got INS and Entity right in front of them.
IND as well, so close to Fnatic. In the midst of all of this, Nepali Honey go out to the play zone. We said before how difficult it was going to be to get inside the zone, deal with Godlike, and it seems like they actually fell. So causes instead. No, Fnatic, Oace is down by Bishma. Bishma having the tournament of his life.
Yeah, now Synergy trying to push in. It is phase 6. It's
Utsaga
centered up
knocking.
once again.
Godel.
No team is actually inside the circle. Alex, that's really important. The team that's closest is Trust the Process, and they still have all 4 members up. But IND.
TB Doku again, Daljit. IND
Catching a few of the players there for Fnatic off guard, trying to huddle for warmth behind the rock. But now there's 2 players essentially, or make it 1 now for Fnatic to try and raise from the near grave as Kratos. Daljitski can just revive him. And it seems like Trust the Process aren't going to apply too much pressure here and allow him to revive.
Easy revive, guys.
Well, look at what Trust the Process are doing, Alex. You could say that maybe they're spreading themselves too thin, but they are going 2-2 split for now. Let's see if it works out.
Bishma, Joker, just outside of the zone, catching Fnatic off guard as they're trying to get
Godlike finished.
Godlike are out. Oasis is down. Bishma down as well. So essentially it's just Rynak here versus Joker. But Joker wins it. Fnatic
TDP फेरि synergy को line knock गर्दैछ guys.
Still alive here for Team INS. In the midst of all of this, we have Entity Game with 4 alive. Process 4 alive as well. They've kept quiet here. They haven't been a part of the action, but as I say, that Doku goes down. Slayer 2. Kratos trying to clean up the mess here.
Easy, nice.
Saxilo, you beast, getting the job done for IND.
Nice.
Yeah, IND taking out INS. We're down to just 3 teams. Entity Gaming, Synergy, Trusty Process. 8 players alive. Synergy are gone. It's only 2 now. Trust the Process versus Entity.
Sagar, bro. Come on.
Let's say. We still have just 3 players. One down, which is Doku. 2 players here. Nemo and a man currently for Entity Gaming.
But look at Shigar. He's in the circle. He's able to push Entity away. Saxo's able to flank around and trust the process. It is going to be this push on the west edge that could work out for them.
Yeah, as you said, Shigar directly inside the circle. You can see even as a compound as well to some degree. Such an advantageous position to have claim. Right now we've got Katak to the right, Neo to the left. 2 of the players remaining from Aman and Jonathan for Entity as well in the center. Doku is revived as well, so now we have a 4 versus 3.5, as we still need to see Katak get revived, which seems unlikely with how much open space there is to cross. And yeah, Shagar got a dispatch of him, so a 3 versus 4, as Neo trying to make the push around the corner. The footsteps should be heard here from the players of Trusty Process as the damage is close to finishing up the job here. Pulls out the Fist of Fury, can't quite land it though.
2v4 guys, 2v4.
Lost the 8 count, he's gone out and been knocked out.
4v2, Trust the Process. Can they get the final 2 kills? Alex, they have the
4v1.
They have the movement. Can they close in onto Entity?
4v1.
Trust the Process have money in the bank though. Look where Shigar is inside the circle. If anything happens, it's going to be a win for Trust the Process. 4 players alive as well towards the end there. Doku got revived. We saw amazing, immaculate play there from Trust the Process. Shigar basically being the insurance play where if his other players die, he's inside the zone, so they'll win it regardless. Fair play.
Exactly, that's why I needed to mention that, because he got himself into that one building in the circle, and that was detrimental to them taking out. Plus, by also confirming that kill onto Entity, it also took away the vision that Entity had on the east side of the circle. I gotta give credit to Entity for not focusing on getting into the circle and trying to, play an unorthodox play of pushing on the outside of the circle. It just didn't work out, but Trust the Process, living by their namesake. Great game 1, now game 2 goes in their favor, and I think they've broken the Sandhawk mold of the low points in the play.
Sandhawk is for TDP guys.
Yeah, as well. I mean, I'm going to give a shout out to Neo there. Tries to finish off the job versus, I believe, Saxleo gets him down to 10-15% HP, whips out the fists, tries to go for the uppercut there, can't quite land it, and as he does overextend, catches one to the chin. But yeah, there we have it. Trusted Process with a win again, catching us by surprise. Maybe not you and Dave.
Nah, not me and Dave. We know what we're talking about. No, nothing against the others. Great job by Trusted Process. But for now, I do think they were a bit weak with their rotations, not just weak, but I touched upon it yesterday. A little bit indecisive with their rotation, because when they were around
Nepali
the west,
player, congratulating Nepali player here, guys.
Northwest, they lost Scout OP, then they kind of stayed up the northwest of Paradise Resort, then they headed down the southwest. It should have been, you make one decision, you make a rotation, and you go for it. It felt a little bit weak by Fnatic standards, by what we know they can do. I hope coming into the latter games, they clean that up a bit, because I know once they get on top of a game, they can be so dangerous.
Indeed. We see as well some of the early kills that happened. I mean, what? Viper gone second, first, one of the first players. So Clutch God again had so much to do. You know, he did a valiant effort again for a second time around, but we need more players to survive. But yeah, your winners are trust the process. But for now, let's trust the analysis desk for what they have to say.
Well, you know what? They came out swinging. For a team that was 24th place, the last team to qualify through into the prelims, they're able to take their first chicken dinner of the finals. And I have to say, it's probably the Z1X, the official smartphone here of the Pmco South Asia Regional Finals. And now the question is, can they continue to do it time and time again?
I think so, as long as it's not Zenhawk. Dave seems to know a lot about it, but to be honest, I really like what I saw from TDP here. Really good communication, really good trades. They really isolated those 1v1s at the end and won those 1v1s. Wasn't the cleanest of wins, but it was a win nonetheless.
Yeah, I just gotta mention, we just saw up there Joker from INS saving the day. They had Megastars out there in the blue, getting chunk gatekeeping, able to get their team members back up, but we saw INS there taken down in the process. Here we go though.
Yeah, that was the
some
weird
questionable
part.
plays coming out from Neo right there. Maybe running out of ammo, trying to get the punch out. I'm not really sure what happened.
I'll be honest, the positioning from Entity in that last team fight was very, very shoddy. They had the information on where they were, and they stuck together. And instead of finding the one player who was isolated, taking them out, going in and just hoping for a trade kill, they just sort of hung out in one area and tried to take the fight against the far players of TDP. Eventually, they just got dissected. I don't think that was the best team fight, but props, though, to TDP for taking that victory.
Yeah, I think communication was a little off there, because there was a straight-up 4v4. Both of the squads were not in the next circle. We had Entity, they sent one in the north trying to wrap into the circle. At the same time, TDP also sent one to the only shack within the circle. The Entity player was taken down in the process, and then we saw Neo push by themselves as well. So it's like they're sending out their players one at a time. We had
it was like
Entity with 2 alive at the end. Yeah, it's like I don't know why they didn't stick together as 4.
Yeah, I mean, it was like it ended up with so many 1v1s at the end. It was very, very strange. I couldn't make sense of it, but I do know that TDP, they did decide to go for a 2-2 split, which did make sense to me, because one went down, the other went down, got away somehow and ended up winning a 1v1 to help them secure the game. So that was good on TDP. It was Entity with a really questionable decision making at the end, though.
I know they had a lot of kills that game, Entity. Maybe that confidence was getting the best of them. They were assuming that they can take these individual gunfights. Just didn't happen. Trust the process. Let's just say I said they were going to win. I said it.
I think both of you did, right?
Yeah, we both said TDP. I might have been a little bit inspired by their interview. That might have had something to do with it. But
and I'm just going to say, if you asked me, which, you know, if you guys, everyone asked me who I think is going to win, I would have said them as well. Just going to throw that one in there. But we should talk about maybe the start of the game, because we had Team Seoul lose 2 players very early on, as well as ECG. So some teams were looking to continue to play well. They had a rocky start.
Yeah, I think they started off in a really, really bad position. That initial team fight with ETG, they never really fully recovered. Losing one of their star players immediately right off the bat is going to hurt you, especially going into the later stage of the game. Not that they made it into the later stage of the game, because
Nepali made it to
yeah, I mean,
finals.
They dropped Panam with SGE.
Finals one in
like you said, they lost a member very early on, and then from there they were just trying to survive and just get picked apart in rotations the entire game. SGE, though, on the flip side of that, they got those kills onto the brawlers, and then we saw them pulling up into the end. They were fighting multiple teams. They got into one good gunfight. I forget who it was, but they were looking good as well. But these zones, just all back and forth this previous game.
I want to point out that fight with Team Seoul. If you remember, Team Seoul ended up with one person left, and that was Clutch God, having to clutch yet again. I thought he was done for. But at the same time, Elementrix getting picked off from the back by another squad, basically saving Clutch God's life for just a little bit longer.
I want to talk about Fnatic a little bit, because we had Scout die kind of early, right? And it seemed like with him dead, they lost that aggressive player, because I'm looking towards a little bit later on when it was Fnatic, Megastars, and INS around Paradise Resort. Megastars were pretty much locked in. Like, there was teams on both sides, and when they were fighting INS, Fnatic didn't even go in for the third party. They sat back. They sat back for a majority of the game, actually, towards the end, trying to, I guess, play for placement points when Scout was dead. I'm not sure what the mindset was about that.
You know, when you want to be a game-winning squad, if you want to win chicken dinners, if you want to win the tournament, you can't just do that. You have to go in, you have to be confident, you have to be aggressive. This is not like the Fnatic
bro, they're down a member very early on. Scout, their star player, they got to Paradise. They weren't receiving any shots, so they said, hey, let's just play passive. Didn't work out for them because it was not favored in Paradise the previous circles.
Nepali guys,
and then they tried to push on in. INS were behind them, trying to backstab them. IND was gatekeeping them, so they were kind of getting pinched from multiple angles, and Fnatic, just like that, no more.
You did mention INS, and I really want to talk about INS. That
you love that
play by Joker, that 1v3 clutch, that was absolutely insane here. Isolating those 1v1s from right on. He had the low ground as well. That's what I want to point out, why that play was so good. He had the low ground and everybody else was peeking from above one by one. And despite the fact that it's harder to take a fight from below because you get a little bit less of the opponent's scene, he actually got those 1v3 kills in and saved his entire team, almost his entire team rather.
To be fair, had a little more cover as well. Had a tree to work with.
Like, share, and subscribe, so got them less 200 likes, guys.
But they were totally exposed.
Look at IND again, by the way. Currently at number 6 from that result. They played very passive throughout the game. If you think back to the first match on Erangel, well, they had 0 kills, but they were the only team with 4 players left alive as we moved into the 6th circle. This time, only 1 kill, dropping out a little bit early.
That's not like them at all. IND, normally we talk about them getting aggressive rotations. This is the kind of map that seems to be in IND's ballpark.
Copyright, I delete गर्नुपर्छ bro video.
Gaming.
रमाइलोको लागि गरे हैन
guys, out with 11 and 12 kills respectively. Jeez, that's a lot of kills.
I mean, we kind of expect this from Entity, right? They're a pretty aggressive team looking back at the previous 2 days, but trust the process. They had a great day number 1, day number 2, not too hot. I'm happy that we did believe in them this game. Do I think that they can get another chicken dinner? It's going to be a challenge. I definitely think that they should maintain the aggression that they are bringing to the table, though, to at least get those kill points to help them stay afloat.
And Synergy, out of nowhere, they've been sitting in I think they were the very last team to qualify, or one of, through our play-ins. And now we're starting to see them in 3rd place. So I guess it's playoff mode for a lot of these teams here, like Seoul.
But boys,
wow.
Let's look at the very bottom of that table.
Brawlers!
What is it about ETG Brawlers and Sandhawk? What is it about this map they seem to struggle with time and time again?
I think, in my opinion, Brawlers, the reason why they struggle for this is because Brawlers are a team that like to have map control and then take a certain amount of map control and then take fights one by one by one. Thing is, you can't exactly do that on Sandhawk because you're normally fighting more than one squad at the same time, and Brawlers have never really been that's not the kind of squad they are.
And we were questioning it. You know, we only had 2 games from the Brawlers, a 1st and a 16th. Now they got a 1st and 2 16th, so not their map. Probably their weakest map, actually, when it comes to winning these chicken dinners.
Yeah, but they haven't also won on Vikendi, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So we have yet to see if they can replicate their success on Vikendi.
If I'm not mistaken, by the way,
what?
I think there's 6 teams in there who were in the top 8 after the first match. ETG Brawlers, RP Official, I think Orb is in there, Seoul, Elementrix, 0 Degree.
Mayhem.
Even, yeah, there's so many teams that were like in the top echelons of the standings, and now bottoming out here on Sandhawk. How will that affect the overall
likes, guys, 200 likes.
It's going to be tough here. The first match, I said Sandhawk is going to be a flip scripper. Script flipper. Sorry. And it is exactly what happened here. So it's going to be really topsy-turvy as we go into the overall.
I'm concerned with Fnatic. Like you said, like we talked about, losing Scout OP very early on. Yes, they got those 6 placement points, but they had 0 kills. They cannot afford that at all. I mean, you need these kills to kind of balance it out.
I mean, in a tournament where 1 single point is going to be the difference between qualifying and not, you're going to think that Fnatic's going to pull together and try to get those kills, but it's not the case. I mean, honestly, in my opinion, it's better to get some kills and at least have something going into the match going forward than to just get placements and have no kills at all.
Well, guys, there's something I want to mention as we look back to Sandhawk a little bit more before we head to break. It came down to the 4th circle. Let's actually take a look at all the circles in general of how that map actually played out. But there was a massive shift, leaving 11 teams out of the 14 in total outside of it. And that's something we're going to have to talk about because transition across Sandhawk is going to be rough.
Yeah, Sandhawk is one of those maps that are so terrible and treacherous, especially when some of the area is covered in very moist areas.
right here.
Ooh,
actually, the one right before that.
After this too. I mean, it shifts.
There you go.
Here we go. Yeah, it shifts. Trust the process. They're trusting their gut feeling here on this moist map. They're all the way down there on the edge. Right here is where we had about 7 teams forced to come in through the east side. Nobody camping those compounds. SGE, this was very interesting. They sent it to the compounds, but we see Major Alpha out there trying to get the cleanup onto Godlike. This was a critical play that didn't benefit SGE because SGE spent so much time that they were actually taking damage from the blue there, and we see Entity getting in front of that compound. SGE went down and out. So I feel like that play from Major Alpha, I do agree, you want to stay back there, you want to make sure you don't get the backstab, but they took too much time to do it, and tanking damage from the blue that late in the game, you just cannot have it at all.
And the same thing went for Entity, I think. They took so long to decide whether they wanted to commit onto the fight onto TDP that they just ended up getting picked off as well. See, the compound eventually did go into the favor of TDP because of the fact that Entity took so long to decide whether they wanted to go into that team fight or not.
Well, guys, Miramar, we're not going to go too deep into it just yet, but that will be our next map. Obviously, much different than what we just had, from a very moist map to a very dry map. How do you feel like this map's going to fare for a lot of these teams? Because again, trust the process. That was the second time they took a chicken dinner, but it was just on Sandhawk alone.
You know, I think this is the kind of map that really favors ETG Brawlers here, and especially because of the fact that they have some of the better snipers as well. A team like INS as well, this is going to favor him too. But I also think that Soul is going to come in here and do really well this match, especially with Mortal Squad.
I was just pointing to a fan. Not only that, though, the Brawlers. Yep, thank you. The Brawlers, the last 2 times we saw them
you can play with that, you see,
chicken dinner, baby.
It really seems to suit their playstyle, especially with those compounds. They know how to hold them, they know how to fight for them, and they know how to prevent players from coming into them.
Okay, well, you know what? It's time for us to head to the stage to talk to the man and the team who got through and took home their chicken dinner. Let's go to the stage with
I'm with Trust the Process. Winner chicken dinner early on into the game. How does it feel?
It feels nice. Like, it's really great. It's a good feeling, like getting to the top table from the very start. It's really easy to go forward. Like, you know, it's really easy for us to play our game.
This is one of those maps which is very unpredictable, and most teams are a little uncomfortable when it comes to it. Is that the same thing for you, or did you just really trust the process and go for it?
We love Sandhawk, we love bootcamp, we always drop there. We know all the area of Sandhawk, so yeah, we're pretty confident about Sandhawk.
And it shows that you love this map because you got 6 kills, which is the most in this team, and that's like really, really important that every kill got you closer to the circle. You, in fact, even out of the circle at one point of time when you came in, was there a strategy that you were looking forward to which worked out, or it just happened?
Yeah, it worked out. Yeah, we were looking at the zone. It moved, but we were looking for an edge, a good cover. Then we moved there. Then we're just scouting. We were letting everyone fight first. We're just waiting for our time to come. So yeah.
And while we're here, I also get to hear that because of your 6 kills, you are also the MVP of the match. So congratulations to that for Utsaga. Congratulations. What's expected of the next map? What are you guys going to do? Is there anything specific that you're looking to get another chicken dinner? Are you going to be greedy?
I'm speaking my mother tongue. I mean, I won't understand. Nepali chance baji, Nepali garcha.
I am guessing that means that he is going for the kill, right? Yep, they're going to be going for the kill. We're going to be going for a break. We'll be right back with the next map. See you later.
Nepali chance payo भने गर्छ केटा कडा मजा आयो रे सही हो कडा दियो भनेर सागर भाइले किल हान्ने भनेको रे अर्कोले फेरि कमेन्ट उले होस्टले ए हसायो ढिलो आयो कडा आयो सही हो नेपाली हो नि Meet and greet schedule रे Soul Brawler Fnatic IND अरुको यति मात्रै हो काकाले सही दियो ओ शिट रे रोयल प्लस गर्न कति युसी चाहिन्छ 600 युसी चाहिन्छ यार भीम ब्रो मिनिमम 600 युसी र 800 युसी को हुन्छ अनि तिमीलाई मिनिमम पनि 600 युसी चाहिन्छ के रोयल प्लस किन्न सबै सही हो चान्स पायो भने गर्छ नेपालले कडा कडा Rahul bro 62 hours what the fuck man okay 62 hours yeah bro proud moment there bro winning a game by Nepali squad great moment bro नेपालले चान्स पायो सही सही त्यो मोटु दाइको नेम के हो अरे हाम्रो टिडिपी सागर भनेको चाहिँ हुने हो सागर गुरु गाइस सबैजना लाइक शेयर एन्ड सब्स्क्राइब गर्न चाहिँ नभुल्नु होला अबको 3 मिनेटमा ठ्याक्कै गेम सुरु हुन्छ गाइस एजे दिवस प्रो थ्यांक यू फर सब guys if you wanna join our family then don't forget to hit that subscribe button मैच सक्यो दुईटा मैच सक्यो अब 4वटा मैच बाँकी छ ब्रो अझै नाला पानी रिटर्न लाउँछ केटाहरुले सेट श्रीराम ब्रो
What prevents you from becoming the real deal?
या सोल पनि राम्रो खेल्छ गाइस नेपालले चान्स पायो भने गर्छ भन्ने वाला भाइरल हुन्छ अब गाइस त्यो
Fast downloading. They always get into the field quicker than you. Falling behind? No. Not gonna happen. Stay calm. Nothing will stand in your way. A true hero must step up to defeat the enemies when there's no one to count on. Vivo Multi-Turbo. A real strong core makes you a real professional player.
Welcome to the PUBG Mobile Light Halloween. We're happy to bring you our Halloween-themed mode, Survive Till Dawn. In this new mode, players will undergo 3 days and 2 nights of harsh trials. Survive the attacks of zombies and other survivors to become the last person standing. If you want to see Dawnbreak on the 3rd day, you better remember the following tips for survival. Collect as many supplies as you can during the day. You can never have too much ammo or medicine. Before night falls, search for a good building to hide in and prepare your defenses. Zombies appear during the night. The zombies can find you no matter where you hide. So your best tactic to fight the zombies right now is to squat inside a room with only one exit and kill the zombies with cover from your teammates. We've prepared an even greater surprise for you. Other than the normal zombies, a mysterious organization will use airdrops to distribute their biochemical experiments, Payman. This powerful elite zombie descends from the sky and tries to kill all enemies within sight. The greater the danger, the greater the rewards. The map shows your repayment will drop from the sky. Kill it to get powerful weapons as your reward. The M134 minigun and flamethrower. These 2 Survival Till Dawn exclusive weapons can definitely help you survive these 3 days and 2 nights. But remember, zombies aren't your only enemies, as other survivors are also a threat to you. So don't hesitate to eliminate them. Once you manage to survive, you'll get the unique achievement Until Dawn. Team up with your teammates to play Survive Till Dawn during Halloween.
By these Indians. No नो ब्रो दिस इज रिजनल फाइनल्स आफ्टर 18 गेम्स हैन त्यो अर्को 18 वटा टिमबाट चाहिँ 16 वटा टिमबाट चाहिँ 5 वटा टिम चाहिँ ग्लोबल फाइनल 2टा टिम ग्लोबल फाइनलमा जान्छ 3टा टिम चाहिँ अनि प्रिलिम्समा जान्छ के त्यो प्रिलिम्समा चाहिँ फेरि सिलेक्सन हुन्छ प्रिलिम्सबाट अनि सडन टिम फेरि ग्लोबल फाइनलमा जान्छ के यहाँबाट चाहिँ 2टा टिम मात्र ग्लोबल फाइनलमा जान्छ ब्रो डाइरेक्टली
tomorrow and the next in 18 in total. 8 of them still to come on our angle. And guys, we're moving on to now Miramar, a very dry map.
All the best to all teams, guys.
Winner chicken dinner. IND doing it in the first game. Game 3. Do you think we're going to see a new champion rise to the ranks?
I'm not sure. That's a little bit tough to say because I know for a fact that players and teams like ETG Brawlers and Seoul, they should start to shine here, especially teams like INS Joker. Especially players like INS Joker, rather, who are known to be amazing snipers. And Miramar, great map for sniping.
Brawlers, I mean...
Yeah, I was going to say, the 1-2, right?
The 2 times they played on the Miramar match, they got chicken dinner with a bunch of kills. That's why there's someone in the crowd, every time they yell Clutch God, the rest of the crowd goes Clutch God. So, lots of fans out there. I'm just pointing that out.
I feel like, is that your dream one day?
To be that guy like
Mustache Dave.
I'm the
guy, alright?
$60,000
start the clap and then everyone claps
18 गेममा जो टप हुन्छ त्यसलाई $60,000
Yeah, I got the crowd
USD.
to clap.
It's weird because I thought you were a clout chaser, but I guess you're a trendsetter.
I'm just, whatever.
Jack of all trades. You know what? Let's take a look at the overall standings because we didn't get to see it before the break. Let's see where all the teams currently do lie on the leaderboard. And at the moment, Entity leading the way, tying things up with Trust the Process at 38.
Wow, not much separates them. They do have a little bit ahead.
Overall standing, guys.
And that's really what's
2
keeping them
Nepali
ahead,
team in top 8.
Honestly, not a lot. I would think that the chicken dinner would count more than the kills, but I
but
guess
we need top 5, guys. Top 5.
IND though, not far behind them with 34. They've been doing so well. I'm wondering if they're going to do well on Miramar.
Gaming chicken dinner
I mean, you said it. Entity at this rate, they don't even need to get the chicken dinner. They can just continue to frag on out here. I can't believe we already got a tie pretty much for first place. Trust the process. Second, IND doing a great job.
Number 2 Trust the Process. Number 8 Elementaries. नेपालबाटै हो guys. अनि हाम्रो NHN नेपाली होनी पनि हुनुहुन्छ हाम्रो.
Can we look at
they are real comebacker भन्नुपर्छ. Last time पनि उनीहरु तल-तलै थिए है. Semi-finals पनि अनि सिधै के रे लास्ट तिर चाहिँ सिधै top 5 मा छिरेको टिम हो guys.
We ended the finals right now and did play out the next game. Then that would mean they're going to go through into the prelims.
I think we will see them going into the prelims eventually if they keep continuing this. I mean, they don't even need... They can still keep dropping Sandhawk and not being so great at it. I think they'll still continue to do well and qualify as long as they don't drop the ball on the other maps.
Yeah, and here we go. We're going to look at 0 Degree, Rip Official, Fnatic, not a squad you want to see down there. Only 7 points so far out of the 2 games played. 4 kills, so averaging about 2 kills per game. They definitely want to rack them up some more moving forward. Megastars, they're having a rough day, especially after last game. We said they're getting gate kept out. Joker 1v3. The morale on the squad has to be really low. Hopefully, they don't let that tilt them.
Yeah, hopefully not. And with squads like Mayhem and Nepali Honi, they are the kind of squads that we were expecting to see do a little bit better, especially after yesterday. Not seeing it right now. Maybe after a little while, maybe once they get their preferred map. I think after Vikendi, maybe we'll start to see them shine.
I worry though for Nepali Honi for the fact that it took so late into the mix in the prelims for them to start to kick it into gear, right? And as you were saying, Mustache Dave, you can't really afford to do that anymore, even though there are 18 matches to be played.
Yeah, personally, I don't think you can afford any 4
games. TDP, NHN,
to Trust the Process, because we did have them on the interview. They said, getting that first chicken dinner early on helps in so many ways because it relieves all the pressure. So with that being said, they seemed a little more chilled out. Hopefully they'll continue to make some plays. And one of the players, I didn't catch who it was, but they made sure, they're like, okay guys, Sandhawk, we drop boot camp every time. We drop boot camp. We know every corner. Like they said that in the interview. I'm like, I think they're trying to tell the other teams, don't go boot camp.
Yeah. Otherwise they'll mess them
up. They'll mess them up. Like, hey, we won Sandhawk. We go boot camp. We know every corner. Don't go there.
That's the thing, though. You do not want to get sort of a little bit too relaxed at the same time. If you start the day off with a chicken dinner and you're never able to follow it up, I mean, that's kind of going to be
guys.
Okay, well, once again, I want to give a big shout out to Vivo for being the title sponsor of the Pmco South Asia Regional Finals. But as you put Sandhawk in the backs of our minds, we have to look forward to Miramar, because this is going to be the next match that will be played here for all of these teams. And you can see Fnatic Scout with us his face in his hands, kind of thinking things over. They've had a rough start. Do you think maybe this is the time for them to shine? Do you think this is the game for them to get things going and to get on that leaderboard?
I think so, but if I was going to make a prediction, I'm going to say INS. This is Joker's map.
You're not giving up on that, are you?
I am not. They're in 6th place. They're going to climb up.
I'm just hoping INS isn't the new Orange Rock from the previous stages.
All right, let's head over to our casters, Alex Byfield and Imperium, to take us underway.
Yeah, EX, TDP, the NSN Pro.
Game 1, 2, and now 3 on Miramar. Actually, quickly becoming my favorite map. The more adjusted to PUBG Mobile I'm getting, the more tactically knowledgeable I am as well. Getting involved in Miramar.
No, you need help, Alex. I'm sorry, but Miramar, it's the worst map in the game. No, I joke. Personally, for me to play the game, Miramar is not that enjoyable because it's too slow paced, right? But to watch the game and to cast the game, yes, Miramar is, I would agree with you, one of the best maps out there because it does help you with your kind of strategic play with your rotations.
Really interesting you mentioned that. When speaking to the players, they actually said they felt like Sandhawk was the least favorite map to play and the most favorite map to watch, whereas Miramar may be quite the opposite. But then again, we've seen Fnatic here do so strong in the play-ins on Miramar nearly twice.
Exactly, and ETG Brawlers, of course, in the play-ins, they won 2 games in Miramar. They scored the highest amount of points, 70, and you touch upon it, Fnatic, they got 49 points in 2 Miramar games, so looking very strong on that map. Elementrix and Soul also did pretty good with 32 points, but let's see how these teams are dropping the playing trajectory, going from east to west, quite central, allowing the teams to generally get
something very interesting as well as the slight adjustments we've seen with the drop locations.
Nepali team 3 ठाउँमा झरे छ TDP उता छ NHN यता छ EX उता छ 3टा नेपाली टिम 3 ठाउँमा छ अहिले फाइटै पर्दैन सुरुमा
basically rotate upwards towards El Pozo and then play the circle from that.
थर्ड गेम बल्लै स्टार्ट भयो नि
See them to the top right of your screens instead going more towards Cruz de Valle.
And then look at that phase 1 circle. It is a little bit towards the southwest, but the good thing for the majority of these teams is that it's still very much quite central. So we look right now, there's a good 12 teams inside the circle for this phase 1 alone. So what that's going to do is that is going to allow the teams a little bit more freedom to rotate to kind of where they want to, or even not rotate much at all.
Also as well, you can see to the left side of Los Leones, there's this big, open, vast area just south of Picado as well. And if this circle continues to get more centered and centered, we're going to have a similar affair to Sandhawk, where the final phase was inside open playing field, just terrain, only 1 compound, which obviously Shegar was in. But yeah, back to more of an open playing field in that sense, not really compound heavy towards El Pozo, for example.
Yeah, we are seeing, you touched upon Trust the Process landing up far north. They are going up towards Campo Militar. I actually like that. I think it's a little bit of a hidden gem in the world of Miramar in terms of loot. It can take quite a while to loot up. Yes, you might have to travel a little bit to get there depending on the plane trajectory, but I do believe that it is a solid place to hold on to. Where it will be hard for Trust the Process is actually in their rotation into the circle, unless a lot of the teams that are on the edge, on the east, northeast and the east side, moving closer, it will be a bit difficult for Trust the Process.
Whenever we speak about Entity Gaming as well, we always use the salient word, which is consistency. Game 1, we saw IND win. Game 2, we saw Trust the Process win, yet it's actually Entity who are #1 already this early on into the tournament, yet they haven't got a chicken dinner.
It's because they got that 5th place result on Game 1. It's because they got their 2nd place result on Game 2. You mentioned it. So true. Consistency is so key. That's why when you look in the top 4 in the overall standings, Entity in 1st, Trust the Process 2nd, IND is 3rd, and ETG Brawlers are 4th. Realistically, 1st place, consistent. Second place, not consistent. Third place, consistent. Fourth place, not consistent. But let's not forget, we're only 2 games in. This is only the 3rd game. We still have another 15 games ahead. It's a long road. It's going to be over the next 2 days as well. So getting that good sleep, having a look back on the VODs, it's going to be so important for these teams to look into coming into the next couple of days.
What's also important for these teams as well is rotations. We can see, as you said, Camp Militar, Trust the Process, Synergy. We've also got Godlike as well towards the top eastern side of the map. They're going to have to potentially rotate towards La Cobriela and then come down Trailer Park, come down El Pozo to try to get inside this circle. Because if they just simply rotate in, look at how well situated Entity Gaming are. Rip Official, ETG Brawlers, for example. That's going to be quite the hard barrier to break through.
And yeah, and you know, like last game in Sanhok, I mentioned about how it can generally be okay to go for a straight line rotation in Sanhok. With Miramar, knowing the map and rotating in a circular motion towards the center of the circle if you're outside it is so important. And rotating if you're on the west or the east coast and getting that good spot is going to be detrimental to your late game position and your late game result.
Megastars here just simply splitting up for the loot, 1-1 and 1 apiece. Obviously, they are close enough to where if action does kick off, they can help each other. However, we always mention the 2-2 split. It is quite rare to see teams go for that risk where we see how spread up ETG Brawlers are. Something as well I'd love to touch upon if you wanted to appear in is currently Seoul in 5th. We've seen 2 games in a row they've had very poor starts. In fact, on the last one on Sandhawk, they had the first death with Viper going out early from the 2.5 million. Remember, in that first game as well, they had 3
full price going out at the start on Wrangle, Clutchcott managed to get all the way into third position.
But they've had poor starts, but still had solid showings.
What happens if they get a good one is that they prove to everybody around them that they're still in with a fighting chance and that they're still in with the passion, the emotion, and the drive to get into either the globals or the preliminary finals. Because right now, based on what we saw from the first 2 days of play-ins, based on what we're seeing on the first day of the finals, they don't look like a team that are ready to take control. They don't look like a team that are ready to actually dominate at the world stage. And that is no disrespect and discredit to what Seoul have done up until this point. I'm just looking at it from this moment, from these past 3 days of games.
Ooh, I thought we were about to get a Rush Hour sequel there, but instead, Team IND are going to let Nepali Honi just fly over the hill. Yeah.
I know, I'd love a Rush Hour sequel.
Yeah,
I'd love a Rush Hour
exactly.
sequel.
That's why I was hyping it up. But obviously,
I'd love a Rush Hour sequel.
Not everything can be delivered. Instead, we get sequels of films we don't even care about. Anyway.
Well, we do have a Bad Boy sequel coming out.
Wow.
You know?
I'm not 18 yet. I can't watch it. Still,
I like it.
We have Trust the Process and Synergy towards the top eastern side. They haven't actually rotated yet. We mentioned time and time again the fact that the phase 1 blue zone does near to no damage. So
Sulti squad छैन Sulti squad हिजो आउट भयो ब्रो नेपाली हुने आउट भएको छैन ब्रो नेपाली हुने छ ए नेपाली हुने के देखाइरा छ रे एनएचएन आयो
And then when you're talking about rotation, what we are a good 7
room ID र पासवर्ड कसरी पाउँछ रे
and IND have not gone towards
हामीले त पाउँदैन अब उनीहरुले त त्यही दिइहाल्छ नि त्यही उनीहरुको म्यानेजमेन्ट टिम भइहाल्छ यतिकै दिइहाल्छ नि
yes on the standings are not looking the strongest, but when you look in terms of strategy and forward-thinking play, and actually that pro-level strat, so to speak, Seoul and Fnatic are leading the way in this game.
यो अहिले फाइनल्स जित्यो भने यो अहिले रिजनल जुन फाइनल भइरहेको नि त्यो जित्यो भने 60,000 र त्यो भन्दा माथि ग्लोबल फाइनल पुग्यो भने झन् बेसी छ
So if Orb official were to rotate out of Los Leones into the open field that I mentioned a few minutes ago, Fnatic have such a strong vantage point to shoot them down.
And now we're seeing towards the closing stages of this phase 1. Now we're seeing this close in. Most of them are taking a little bit of tick damage and Entity popping off.
Yeah, popping off shots and emptying their clips and using a lot of their ammunition as well, which may not be the smartest thing to do 8 minutes in, but they're trying their best to take down one of the players from Synergy. But unfortunately, both Katap and Ahmad couldn't quite connect the dots on that one. They're just going to get in their vehicles and get in their vehicles and go away.
See, and that's the thing. There's no point at that point as we see phase 2 shifting down south. Entity should have been rotating towards the hills outside San Martin, because one, they would have been able to take more control and push off teams around them, and it would have given them an easier entrance. But at least they're connecting on and securing a knockdown for now.
Really well played there from Neo. As we already see Shagar go out, one of the first players to go. Actually, the first player, then Sax Leo, the second player to die. And the third one as well. Tempest from the official goes down. Ooh. Let's see that Doku using the car now as cover if he can, but he's being shot from the rear as well. Godlike join the fray. Get down Doku. And now it seems like Synergy may try and third party the action that's going on the top of the hill.
Yeah, and honestly, Trusted Process, they laid their own bed with regards to they landed in Camp Militar. They took too long to loot up and move out. If they were going to wait until the blue zone started closing in, they should have waited until at least phase 2 even started moving in, because common sense and information would have told them that there was going to be teams in the north side. But Utsurja, last man standing.
Indeed, Doku is down. So actually, Saga may have saw Anto at the top of the peripheral of the hill, the precipice, excuse me. However, he may try and rescue his teammate. That could be a smart idea to try and play for the late game. However, it's so hard to find him. Actually does pull the trigger here on Anto and catches him far away from his team. Look exactly where Godlike are. Goes for more as well, trying his hardest to finish the job, and he does. Anto is out, and now at Saga, they know exactly where he is. He's inside the blue zone as well, so damage is slowly being applied, hemorrhaging his HP.
That spray with no scope.
Fair play.
Great job, but Utsurja, really accurate control of the recoil from himself early on in this game, but he has to get those knockdowns. He has to get those kills, because trust the process. They want to hold on to their top spot. Like they said in the interview with Xerxes, when they have a top spot, it makes it easier for them to play the way they want to in the latter games. So let's see how it's going to fare out. But I want to touch upon how the other teams are looking around this map so far. 0 degrees moving in up. Fnatic just north of Chumasera. Nepali Honi, who earlier on found themselves in a little bit of trouble getting closer to IND, have gotten in between IND and ETG Brawlers as well as Fnatic. And then, of course, INS and Megastars on the west side of this circle for now.
Yeah, it almost feels like there's two mountain terrains that splits off the map where INS are, and then just below Fnatic as well.
And then, see what I was talking about? I mentioned about Entity should have been forward-thinking on phase 1 and went on to the hills outside San Martin. Now, because they left it too long, they rotated more up north. They got caught out somewhat by Rip, and they are now the hunted rather than the hunters. And that's not good for Entity.
Yeah, obviously losing a player early. You can see on our screens right now, it's Saga, the only player for Trusted Process. Rip Official have well have lost a player. Synergy are down 2 players. Godlike Anto was obviously killed by an amazing spray from Saga. But for now, center of the circle is dominated by Fnatic and ETG Brawlers. Potentially the favorites, as we said, and my goodness.
Okay, phase 3, what a shift down south. IND instantly need to rotate directly west and occupy the hills above Minas. It is going to be so important that they are able to get on top of that hill overlooking Chumasera. It will give them pretty much the bottom, the southern half of that circle. Because Chumasera, that's going to be a cluster of teams going into the seeding. We're already seeing the rotations coming out, Alex, from these teams. It's a lot more proactive because they have to be.
Synergy trying to get inside the circle. Official trying their hardest to do some damage but couldn't connect it again. Seems like I keep repeating myself with that, where players are just spamming away, emptying the clip into the vehicles but just cannot land those shots.
Yeah, of course, so we have Seoul on the northwest side. INS, you see them in La Drillera. It is a good spot for them. It's kind of high ground, but they have Megastars towards the southern area of them and Elementrix to the north side, so they will have to be aware. Plus, driving with those minivans is quite difficult on this rough terrain, Alex.
Team INS, they spotted that Megastars at the top of the hill. We're like, we'll go get our own one.
Game
exactly now. Obviously, there was lots of casualties.
तर अहिले त धेरै सपोर्टिभ छ नेपाली के फ्यामिली पनि हैन
They've gone a little bit further actually. Mr. Haozu
कति प्लेयर्स छ नेपालीहरु
that being a kind of scout for his team and going a little bit further ahead. But now we see Team IND connecting onto ETG Brawlers. 2 members down, just like that, the drop of the hat, and they do confirm those kills.
Yes, brilliant there from Kratos, catching out ETG Brawlers, obviously the favourites from the play-ins. And now, Slayer here with his comrades as well. Just over the hill is going to be ETG Brawlers, and they're coming back for some more action. A brilliant grenade as well, knocks down Trance, and it seems like Nova may be able to catch out 2 of the players here. Slayer going to be taking some shots and some fire. Dark's there as well, finishes off Trance. More pressure coming in as well, as Dark comes around the side, and the hit by a spray actually gets exchanged, a 1-for-1. However, 2 players from the top of the hill. It's Kratos and also Daljitski, as it's going to be. Oh, it's actually going to be 0 Degree that come into the play. They want to go to lead high. They want some of the action. They're going to finish off more players from Team IND. And this is disastrous for Team India.
What looked tough initially for ETG Brawl Stars. They came in back hard. They pushed IND out, and that gave 0 Degrees a chance to pull in. And 0 Degrees, they're going to take an even bigger advantage. And we see ETG Brawlers taken out once again in last place, Alex. What a disappointment start to the final stages for the top ranking team after play-ins.
The top ranking team like
0 Degree having such a strong tournament. They're keeping that form up as well. Just playing it smart. It feels like the most successful teams here just play passive, they wait for action, they third party at the right time, they win the duels, they get kills, they get points, and they just play for the center of the circle and get this place.
But all the while, we've hit phase 4, shifted once again down southwest, outside of Chuma 0, 0 Degrees, Minas and Val on the side, in the circle, and INS in the center. But look at that, Nepali, Elementrix going at each other, Alex.
Going at each other, maybe an understatement here, as Poo Man has been excreted.
Nepali
the rest of Elementrix is going to be going far, far and away. Nepali Honi may actually hunt them, as they know they have the man advantage, but instead they're just going to be keeping calm and collecting their thoughts.
So 2 teams that do have a great position on the west side of the circle is Ripple, Facial and Megastars. They hold on to the high ground. If they do kind of separate from each other enough that they can push onto the teams around them, that will be good for both teams. But if they come across each other, we could see the third party come in, but Scout spraying onto 0 Degrees.
Yeah, 0 Degree at the bottom of the hill. We always speak about the importance of the high ground, and maybe this car could deal some damage to Surya. Seems like they were fully understanding what could have happened there.
Across to the
side of the map, Mr. Hoyozo from Elementrix is down as well. But look how bad this is for 0 Degree. At the bottom of the hill, we constantly mention the high terrain in favor of Fnatic.
And it's funny because before we actually panned over and saw Scout fire a couple of shots, I had noticed that Scout had rotated quite nicely on the east side. I wanted to mention the west side teams first before touching upon these east side teams. Credit to Fnatic with their rotation.
TDP, EX and Nepali Honi. Nepali Honi ko matrai 4 jana baki cha guys Nepali team ma.
Quite see which team it was. It's going to be Seoul. But it seems like Seoul are going to be occupied as well with Team INS. However, Smixy taking down Clutchgod, actually gets the kill as well onto Clutchgod, so he's out and done.
Soul Viper knocked out.
Going across the different hillsides and hilltops here, but Scout spots up 2 of the players here from 0 Degree. Ooh, actually manages to kill Viper as well. That's one of the players from 0 Degree. So another poor start here for Seoul, 3rd time in a row.
Yeah, Viper being taken out by from Seoul by 0 Degree. 0 Degree, even though they have the low ground, even though they're pinched a little bit, they still look very strong. Fnatic, they're ignoring 0 Degree. They're now heading off onto Mayhem's direction.
I think what's making this so action-packed here in Imperium is the fact that the circle has forced all the teams that are in Camarera to rotate around the same angle of this hilltop here, and that's why we have Mayhem. And actually, Mayhem on our screens right now as we're about to enter chaos between 4 versus 4. Fnatic about to try and take down Vampire. Let's see how the action's going to go. Grenades coming out as well to apply even more splash damage to the players from Mayhem. And actually, Cloak is the first person to go down. Fnatic Scout trying to see if he can scout over the top. He's got its KK to the right. Red's in front of him as well. Let's see what can go down. The red dot scope works wonders as Red's is down. It's a 2 versus 4 now as Ronak as well goes in for more. Vampire finished off. And Oase could be here to clean up 3 players from Mayhem. Let's see how it's going to go. It's KK jumps in the sky, but actually jumps out the server instead. And just like that, Mayhem are up 14th, trust the process around 15th. Whoa.
Fnatic showing strong with their team fight potential. They held on to the high ground very nicely. We just lost another team in D. And I want to touch upon that Fnatic fight because it was very tough. Even though they had the high ground, that hill, that clip was so deep, it was such a kind of degree of an angle that it could have gone against Fnatic, Alex. But they played it very well. They rotated with their position. So when we saw Scout OP take damage, he fell back and the rest of the team supported him.
What is this? Phase 5 circle is on top of the hill. This is
Fnatic. Yeah. Fnatic's been gifted.
I know. We've seen some absolutely outrageous circles here in this one.
Like, share, and subscribe.
As well. Naruto goes down. Actually, one back for 0 Degree as Bishma is taken out of the picture as well. But look at this. It's more of a cluster of teams just trying the hardest to get close to this hill, which has been chosen by the gods of PUBG Mobile.
And 0 Degree, they have the center of the circle. Yes, like I said, they're not exactly super high ground. They've got to be aware of Fnatic, but they're focusing on Seoul and Nepali Honi.
Oh, like shooting fish in a barrel here for Entity as they have the high ground over 3 teams, Seoul, Nepali, Honi, and Megastars as well. But they have to be wary because Fnatic have the highest of the high grounds. As we're going into some crazy, crazy situations here. As 0 Degree God thankfully managed to land in the dip there, so he will safely be revived.
Exactly, and you talk about 0 Degree. They were on 7 kills because they had the center circle position for so many of those phases, working very nicely for this team.
Scout spots up more players here. Godlike as well have entered this battle.
Now, I would like to see Fnatic split a little bit kind of more thinly. All of their members are kind of in a bit of a cluster. Yes, they have the high ground, but it would be, in my opinion, a little bit wiser to gain more vision and awareness of the other teams by splitting up.
Orb official and INS dealing lots of deadly blows here, but speaking of deadly blows, K-Lay was not expecting to lay down dead instantly from Aman, who goes in for more as well. Junior's there, just behind the vehicle. Let's see them really positioned there from Scout. Quite connected though, because Blazy manages to prone just at the right time.
And then Scout backs away, realizes it's not worth it, disconnecting onto a member of Elementrix. You still have full 0 Degree squad. You still have full INS and full Orb official squad. But Synergy eliminated in 10th place. Now down to 9 teams. And with this next circle shift, Alex, it's heading into phase shift. It's phase 6. It centers up in 0 Degree are the only team that are comfortably inside the circle.
Once again, the circle is favoring 0 Degree. Elementrix are out in 9th. Soul as well, 2 players remaining, Mortal and Regaltos, and right now it's a toss of the coin whether or not they're going to survive because a man has such a good angle here onto Mortal. He's still able to get away, 4 bullets remaining for the Scar. Maybe just finishing off Regaltos here as he can't quite find Mortal anymore.
And the tough thing for Fnatic is they need to go down this hill. That's why I talked about in the previous phase, split up so you can spread yourself thinly and find the information so you have a clearer rotation. Now they're kind of rotating a little bit blindly, although they can still catch a couple of these teams out.
Nepali team एउटा टिम मात्र बाँकी छ नेपाली हुने एकजना मात्र बाँकी हुनुहुन्छ.
You can see here Trigger just hops over the top. And actually, I'm speaking about INS, but actually goes against them in their favor. Bishma is downed, and now we have the overall head view of the map. Mortal is out, Regaltos is out. Unfortunately for fans here, Soul is also out in 8th. And yeah, I mean, to the east, we've got Godlike Dash. To the west, we have 0 Degree in the best possible position inside the circle. INS
easy. You know who this kind of really quickly favors the most? Entity Gaming. They're still in this game. They're on top of the table, and they're looking consistent once again with 10 kills already.
But who's going to come out on top in game 3? Orb have been spotted out now by Smokey, as he's going to try and smoke 2 of the players. Let's see. Max Cash is getting sprayed down. 1 player down. Godlike Dash as well from above. Just like a god, comes down with 1. And look at the HP there for Mazik. He's just dwindling away from death. 1 bullet, a breath of fresh air. Even being touched by someone, he's going to go down.
But they're not in the circle. That's the most important thing. They have to get those kills. Take out Orb Visual, gives them more space. But they've got to instantly focus and turn their attention on the godlike Entity and Fnatic.
Oase is down. That could mean only one player. Yes, one player remains now for Fnatic, one player for Nepali Honi, 2 for Entity Gaming, 2 for Godlike, and then 4 for INS, and also for 0 Degree. It seems like it's these 2 teams who are in the paramount position to try and close out Game 3.
0 Degree. They played that play to go in the center circle early stages. They faced pressure from Fnatic. They survived, and they are reaping the benefits.
2 more players from Godlike down. Godlike now out. Ironic because there's the number of the beast. However, God himself, my goodness, what a array of words this has been. Now sandwiched between Entity and another team as well, just slightly above them. It seems like Jonathan and Aman just want to wait out.
And what 0 Degree are doing really well is they're playing their position so effectively and using every inch of the hilltop of the mountain areas to their advantage.
Climbing over the hill, shooting into the smoke, hoping to connect the bullets through it to try and finish off Bishma, but he has been revived onto low HP, instantly down again by Surya. However, it's Smoky this time with the hipfire up close with 1, tries to get away, but he's down. Blazy as well in the midst of all of this is getting shot from the side. Everyone is currently in a chaos storm, but look at the Mach 10 from God, just up close, ramping everyone down. Trigger as well, actually winning the exchange with the Scar. AK 2 minutes from Surya has to reload. He actually reloads for the extended mag, but Joker with the Scar wipes them all out. And just like that, 0 Degree out in 4. 3 teams remaining, only 2 players. Revive. 2 players, but he's being shot at. It seems like from behind, but it's so hard to tell. Actually, no. It's towards the west. Disconnect is alone. Entity Gaming might just finish off Disconnect here. We're about to get into a whoa. We're about to get into something very strange here. About to get into a 2 versus 2. Disconnect, fair play, mate. He stayed quiet, silently, waited for everyone else to kill each other, collected 3rd place for his team.
What did I say? Entity, 12 kills, 2nd place, 3rd game in a row in the top 5 with a bunch of points and a bunch of kills. But who's going to come out on top? Because it is 3 against 2.
INS Trigger coming to the flank near the airdrop, gets spotted out in the open there by a man. Brilliant play from them, using the airdrop as bait as he gets more shots into the toes of Joker. Joker to the left. He also has Smokey as well to the right. A man going for everything here, trying to solo the play. Gets 1 kill, finishes off Trigger, goes in for more. He does actually slow down the pace here. Thank you very much, Observer, for the split screen. It's very hard to follow this one. As you've got Joker just trying to heal up from the side. Didn't anticipate exactly where Jonathan was.
2 against 2, 2 against 2. Although insane that Joker is knocked down, so INS under pressure.
Here we go, Smokey just with the car as well. Damage dealt to him here. Jonathan just on top of the rock, being able to hit fire them both down. And just like that, it is the win for Entity Gaming. They came, 5th after just 2 games now with the chicken dinner here as well. They are going to be propelled forward.
5th game 1, 2nd game 2, chicken dinner game 3. If you're looking for a team to focus on when it comes to consistency, Entity are your team right now. And I remember when we first started talking to the other guys, Illustrato was one of the first people to point out Entity as a dark horse team. And by God, is he proving himself right. I would love to see him. I would love to hear from him touching upon that when it goes to the analysis test. But what a great game in the Fnatic. Fnatic looked pretty strong for a lot of the game. I touched upon their rotation being very effective.
Yeah, bro, Nepali team
they held on to it nicely. But remember when I talk about being 1-2 steps ahead, they had a full squad and they done the split push
nice try, guys.
in
nice
previous games. That was the time that they should have gone split pushing, because if that circle, like it did, shifted far away from them, they had nowhere to go and they instantly went down to just one player left in the next couple of minutes. That was all because of their own doing, unfortunately.
I want to speak as well and touch upon Nepali Honi.
This is 300 likes, guys. That's 300 likes.
If you remember, those 2 teams had 1 player remaining, and Nepali Honi was one of them. Yep. Disconnect was just chilling in his vehicle, in his hot ride, down at the bottom of the hill, and managed to survive versus 3 more teams and collect a plethora of points for his team. So fair play, job well done. However, this isn't a situation, Imperium, where we're thinking, just survive, get top 16. These teams need to get top 5 to have any chance of progressing forward. So we need to see more.
Yeah, and I know Nepali Honi will be a little bit disappointed with their performance so far in the games. Yes, when we look back at the play-ins, they left it till the last game of the 2nd day to climb themselves up into top 16. Yes, did they end up in 5th? Of course, but that was all because it was a weird situation where ETG Brawlers had taken the majority of the points, but this is much different. Like, you look at the points difference after 2 games between first place and 16th place, it's only 31 points. That's pretty much a chicken dinner. Whereas when you looked at the group stages, it was a lot kind of deeper at this point in the series because ETG had been so aggressive.
Well, let's see the analysis desk delve deeper into that matchup. That was Game 3 Miramar. Jason, what have you got?
Well, the first thing I got for you is the fact that it's been 3 matches and we've already had 3 different winners. Very different than what we saw on day 1 in the prelims, but you know what? Entity are a force to be reckoned with. They have shown time and time again now, not only in chicken dinners here in Game 3, but the amount of kills they've been racking up.
What place were they in coming into this game? First place? With no chickens?
With no chickens.
All kills, and in this game they finally get a chicken dinner with a ton of kills to boot.
That's exciting to watch. I mean, you do love to see a chicken dinner with a lot of kills behind it. I mean, it's not just any kind. But also, I want to shout out to my boys INS. They performed really, really well up until the very end there as well.
Yeah, I mean, Joker alone was fragging out from the team. We caught him a couple times, taking out Orb, taking out 0 Degree. But then at the end, INS had 3 alive versus 2 from Entity. They started to make the push. Entity, Jonathan was just defending so well right there behind that ledge, able to take them down and out, getting the win for the team.
There we have it, 14 kills for INS, 15 for Entity Gaming. What a good match from them. I said it in the beginning, Joker, he loves this map, he's so amazing at it. It feels like it was just designed for him. Right below 0 Degree and Nepali Honey, 2 teams that we were expecting to see come alive a little bit today. They were very quiet in the first 2 games, and now they finally come into the arena and say, hey, we're still here.
Yeah, and then, you know, Fnatic making a showing, getting 5 kills with 7 placement points. Godlike, 6 placement points, 3 kills. Orb official, 5 placement points, 3 kills as well. And Soul, 1 kill, 4 placement points.
It does have to go, it has to be talked about though. The 2 teams that we were looking at earlier today now finding themselves at the very bottom-ish at the scoreboard. IND and ETG Brawlers now going out at 10 and 12. Very disappointing performance from those guys.
I mean, that's the point for them, but kind of opening up the leaderboards for everybody else. Trust the process also went out pretty early on, so with the top 3 dogs going out besides Entity, that allowed other people to try to make that jump to that top 5 spot.
Well, let's look at ETG. Even though it says currently 12th place at the end of that game, that's not actually where they went out. They went out in 16th place, but luckily had 2 kills before that happened. And guys, that's 2 matches back-to-back that the Brawlers have failed to stay out of 16th place, or a comp for 16th place, depends on how you look at it.
I think this is the time when ETG Brawlers have to think they might have been changing a couple things over, and it's just not working. Maybe they need to go back and try what worked for them in the first match and then just keep trying to replicate that, because clearly what they're doing here, it's just not working. Despite the fact that Miramar is one of their strongest maps, they've just fallen short here.
They let me down. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I was gassing them up going into this game saying, hey, last 2 Miramar games they played, they won, and they got a bunch of kills. This previous game, it just all fell apart for the team. I believe they got 1 member taken down pretty early as well. And then once again, these rotations are just not working out for the Brawlers here today.
Well, we had an interesting, we talked about 3rd parties. We haven't talked about 4th parties. We did have one of those happen though with ETG, 0 Degrees, IND, and Orb as well, and that was just a very awkward fight.
I'll be honest, I think it's also one of the reasons that IND and ETG went out so early. As we said a while ago in Sandhawk, ETG not the best team at, not the best equipped team to handle fighting more than 2 squads at the same time, even more than 1. They like to take those individual fights one after the other and then go from there and use that to position themselves deeper into the circle. When you have more than 2 squads, that's when they start panicking.
I mean, the Brawlers and IND were neck to neck. I mean, they were trading left and right. I mean, 1 knock over here, 1 knock over there. It came down to 1 player on each squad trying to secure that fight.
चारवटा प्लेयर गएको थियो, एउटा प्लेयर एलिमिनेट भयो हिजो, अब चाहिँ 3टा प्लेयर बाँकी छ गाइस, 3टा स्क्वाड,
taking those squads apart.
And they probably saw each other like, oh, it's IND and it's ETG taking each other out.
Oh, for
we
sure.
should probably knock these guys out now.
Well, you're going to eventually see it over towards Shumasera eventually happen, and obviously towards the later stages of actually this match too, we had an interesting kind of fight where Fnatic had a phenomenal high ground, and the only one that really could have challenged them was Orb across the way on the same kind of position, but the potential to actually confirm a kill from there was not going to be happening. But it all came down to, I think, one of the circles after that, where all the teams had to start to collapse. They had to start to get towards the zone.
Yeah, Orb actually had some pretty good sight lines on two teams with very strong positions. Not only Fnatic, but right here they can also look into 0 Degree, who just kept getting favored with the circles. They had the high ground on all those teams down there on the road, and they also had a little bull to work with. So they could peek over that bull, get a couple shots, say one of the members get knocked, they can go back into that tiny little bull, get the revives. Orb, they had sight lines on him, like I mentioned. Orb was actually taking shots at him. So 0 Degree, they had to smoke up that little tiny bull, and they waited it out. Eventually, Orb was forced to push out of that high ground from the zone.
Yeah, and I think Entity actually had a little bit of cover with that crate dropping in the middle, so a little bit lucky, added extra luck for them. Now that's luck.
We also need to look at, well, a couple of different things. The fact that Entity is just fragging out constantly. They're keeping themselves afloat, not even afloat. They're pretty much taking this first place position hands down. Is this a pace you can kind of keep up over the course of this tournament? It's only day one, right?
Yeah, I think this is the way that it has to be, because if you want, again, if you want to be a tournament-winning team, you can't just go for those chicken dinners with low kills. You have to be moving around. You have to be active across the map, finding kills left and right, and this is exactly the kind of playstyle that wins tournaments from Entity Gaming.
I mean, like we said, they were in first place without the chicken before this game. I feel like this chicken is just an added bonus, like, hey, thanks for the chicken. I mean, we don't really need it.
We're vegetarian.
We're vegetarian, so we'll give it away later.
Let's look at our top 5 players from that last game, and you have to look at this. Amon, I mean, 8 kills for him. It's exactly what you want to see out of the team. If they can continue this pace, Neo as well at 4 kills for himself, and we're having a lot of players out of Entity to make the top 5.
Yeah, and it is none other than Entity Man. 8 kills for him, 7 for Smokey, I think is how you pronounce it, and Joker with 5. I thought it would be a little bit more than that for Joker, but still nice to see his name up on the board. And then 602 damage for him. That's a pretty good stat right there.
Yeah, I mean, I like to see NC up here as well. I like to see him get the chicken there, especially after the previous game.
Let's see, bro. जसले जो अब नेपाली तीनटै टिम पनि जान सक्छ, नेपाली एउटै टिम नजान पनि सक्छ, एउटा टिम जान सक्छ. अझै बाँकी छ 3टा गेम त भयो, कतिवटा 18वटा गेममा 3टा गेम भयो, अझै 15वटा गेममा छ, 15वटा गेममा चाहिँ पनि
had such a good position. It was circle number 4. They took up the east side of the road and pretty much were overlooking the valley. The road was pretty much a valley, and on both sides was the mountains. Next circle pops, circle 5, it goes to the east. 0 Degree had the best position to take down all those teams that had to cross that valley down into from their high ground. They took them out. That's how they racked up so many kills.
Well, one question I've been asking you guys over the course of not only today and the last 2 days is, will teams change their drop positions? We actually had 0 Degrees change up things here as they went towards Valle de Mar instead of towards Puerto, and Sol actually normally drop Picado, didn't go there either. So is this like an adaptation from the last 2 days? Is this them feeling a little bit uncomfortable with how they've been playing so far, or is this maybe their game plan coming into the finals?
I think it's Sol, for Sol at least, I think they're feeling a lot more confident today, especially with the performances they've been showing. And that's definitely reflecting on how they're even dropping and taking fights. Now, as for the other teams, I definitely...
एमन ने गाड़ी को ही फोड़ा एंड वहीं पे सारा गेम प्ले वो लूज कर चुके थे.
अब ये देखिए, एंटिटी गेमिंग ने इतनी लीड बना ली है, 25 पॉइंट्स की लीड है आईएनएस और एंटिटी के बीच में. अब 25 मतलब 2.5 गेम, हर गेम में अगर आप 10 पॉइंट लाते हैं, 18 गेम तक 10 ले जाते हैं, 180 पॉइंट, मतलब यू आर गोइंग कोलालमपुर, हाई चांसेस है. तो अब ऐसी लीड अगर एंटिटी बनाने लगी तो ऐसा आपको मैं बता देता हूँ, जैसे ब्रॉलर्स ने प्लेन्स के अंदर हालत की थी वैसी एंटिटी करने वाले हैं. 1-2 गेम और सक्सेसफुल, बाकी लोगों का कॉन्फिडेंस हो जाएगा डाउन. दे वोंट बी फाइटिंग फॉर द नंबर 1 स्पॉट, देन उनके टारगेट चेंज होकर बस कोलालमपुर का सफर मिलेगा उन्हें.
बात एकदम सही है. और एंटिटी गेमिंग की हम बात करें तो एंटिटी गेमिंग का इंटरव्यू भी आने वाला है, और घातक से मैं और बातचीत करना चाहूँगी क्योंकि आपने भी बताया था कि एक्सपीरियंस तो कूट के भरा है. और पूरी लाइनअप की बात कर लीजिए तो ये बहुत ही अलग प्रदर्शन है.
फर्स्ट मैच, सेकंड मैच,
बहुत अलग ये थे. वो स्लो एंड स्टेडी जो कि रेस जीत रहे थे. पहले मैच के अंदर एक मैच में सेकंड आते हैं, एक मैच में 5th आते हैं, फिर अगले मैच के तो रुके ही नहीं बिल्कुल भी. कंपटीशन ऑब्लिटरेट कर दिया. 73 पॉइंट्स. सेकंड जो टीम है 48 पॉइंट्स. दिस इज अ डिफरेंस. ये ब्रिज इन्होंने क्रिएट कर दिया. आईएनएस चाहेगी उस ब्रिज को छोटा करना और ये चाहेंगे ब्रिज को लांघना.
ये चाहेंगे ब्रिज को लांघना. और हम अभी भी देख रहे हैं कि स्टार्स की अगर ओवरऑल स्टैंडिंग्स की बात कर ले तो मेगा स्टार्स अभी है 8 पॉइंट्स पे, तो उनको थोड़ी और मेहनत करने की जरूरत. 3 गेम हुई, ऑफ कोर्स वी हैव मोर गेम्स, बट मोमेंटम की बात आ जाती है. क्राइड आपने बताया था कि एंड में बहुत ही ज्यादा मुश्किल होता है क्योंकि प्रेशर बढ़ जाता है. लेकिन अब 9 to 13
nobody can catch up to him.
Yeah, maybe, but it's hard to say because there was IND who did come up and really catch up
close.
Came close, but it was still a few.
Like 40 points.
Yeah, I think it was 20 something. Yeah, but Fnatic though, they're underperforming. It has to be said. 23 points for them, only 9 kills. This is a different Fnatic from what we've seen in the play-ins.
We can see there are 9th through 16th place, and well, Megastars not really living up to their name, not looking like stars at the moment, currently in last, but Nepali Pony able to finally work their way up the board a tad bit. But again, Godlike, who had a couple of good games yesterday, has fallen short here yet again.
I think we're going to start to see teams really develop a disparity in terms of the score line because of the fact that we are playing more and more games. This time it's like, I think, 18 games, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And that really just will push out the more veteran teams ahead.
Nepali, How, Ni. They showed up on last day,
Sure,
shooting up the
Chinese
leaderboards,
Chinese
place at the end of the day. They started in 20th place. The question is, can they do the same thing here? Can they let that,
directly जान्छ अनि तीनटा चाहिँ prelims खेलेर जानुपर्छ
make the comeback on the last day? Is it going to be enough time? Personally, I don't think it is. The last 2 games, we got 2 more games?
Yeah.
Or 3 more games to go?
3 more games
to go. The last 3 more games to go. They need to do something else. I mean, they need to change it up. Thankfully for them, I believe we are playing another Aaron goal today. So they didn't do too hot on an Aaron goal this morning. Maybe they can change it up, do a little better, end things off on a good note.
Well, we do luckily have Entity on the stage to talk to. I wonder if they're getting this amount of kills because they're using the official smartphone of the Pmco South Asia Regional Finals, the Z1X. What's going on at Xerxes, and maybe you can ask them.
Congratulations, NTT Gaming. You didn't just get the chicken dinner right now, but you are on top of the table 3 games into day 1. Congratulations. How do you feel? This was a part of the plan to come in slow and just take the whole 16 by storm?
No. It was not part of the plan. It just happened like suddenly. Because in the semis, we didn't get 1 chicken dinner. So we were looking forward to get 1 chicken dinner. So yeah, we got 1 and it feels like very good. And you got like 8 kills.
You are like the most kills this game, if I'm not mistaken, right? And where did you strategize? Did you think of something specifically when you were going for it, or you're just like, ta.
मैंने बस अपना नॉर्मल गेम प्ले किया है, बस थोड़ा सा अग्रेशन इस गेम में ज़्यादा था, बिकॉज जो फ्रंट लाइन है हमारे एक टीम के, उसमें से एक डाउन था और एक साइड का पूरा एरिया कवर कर रहा था जो कि जॉनथन है. मैं सपोर्टर रोल हूँ, बट मेरे को अभी अग्रेशन करना पड़ा इस मैच में, बिकॉज we need some more kills because point table जो है वो बिल्कुल different हो चुका है पिछले बार.
So basically, as a supporter, you started and then you adapted along the way because there was one guy defending already. So you were just like, I'm just gonna go all offense, and you took over the entire team. And with so many kills, that is a very good thing. What's the plan? 3 more games to go for day 1, top of the table. Clearly, the teams might be targeting you next because you came out of nowhere. First chicken dinner in these last 3 days. So. What do you think the teams are going to do and what do you think you're going to do?
Exactly, teams तो like अभी हमने बहुत सारे ड्रॉप लोकेशन तय करके पहले ही मतलब टूर्नामेंट से पहले ही बहुत सारी चीज़ें हमने वो मतलब स्टडी की है, तो भाई आने वाले टाइम पे हम लोग ड्रॉप लोकेशन तो 100% चेंजेस करेंगे, क्योंकि हाँ सबको खेलना है, राइवलरी होती है, सबको ऊपर आना है, तो ऑब्वियसली टारगेट तो होंगे, तो फिर उस हिसाब से हम लोग प्लान करेंगे, मतलब गेम चालू होता है तो उस हिसाब से चेक करेंगे कौन सी जगह हमारे लिए बेटर हो सकती है, तो उसके बाद तो नेचुरल गेम चालू हो जाएगा.
So basically what you just said is that you have made strategies of where to land already, but now that you're on top of the table, things are going to change and everyone's going to attack you. So you're going to change your drop locations on the fly and decide what you're going to go to, because that's basically how you can make sure that if teams are targeting you and they know where you are headed, you're going to dodge them. Best of luck for that. Aman, you're also the MVP of this round, so congratulations for that. Next round again, some more kills, or you're going to go back to supporter?
Right now it's supporter because we didn't practice for this thing.
Because हमारे टीम के ये दोनों main lead है, third man, middle man, and I'm the support in back. So ये दोनों entry करते हैं, बाद में अमन रहता है. But अब अभी यहाँ पे नियो मर गया था, इसलिए वजह से ये दोनों ने लीड किया है पूरा गेम, और मैं पीछे से बता रहा था क्या करना है, बट इन दोनों ने जो गन पावर दिखाया आज मतलब मजा आ गया देख के भी, हमें भी.
So basically what you're saying is that the main roles are that you guys are the attackers, you're the supporter and you're the supporter, but you improvise this time and you're proud to see how he's improvised, but you're going to go back to the original strategy where you guys attack again. In case someone drops dead, you know you have a backup attacker in your team. That sounds perfect. Best of luck, NTT Gaming. Hope you keep the lead. We're going to go into a little break, but we'll come back with game number 4 right here. Stay.
एकछिनमा हुन्छ ब्रो नेपालीले पनि खेलेको छ यसमा नि छ नि ब्रो 3टा नेपाली टिम छ
You from becoming the real deal. Fast downloading. They always get into the field quicker than you. Falling behind? No, not gonna happen. Stay calm and be cool. Nothing will stand in your way. A true hero must step up to defeat the enemies when there's no one to count on. Vivo Multi-Turbo, a real strong core makes you a real professional player.
Welcome to the PUBG Mobile Lite Halo Weeks. We're happy to bring you our Halloween-themed mode, Survive Till Dawn. In this new mode, players will undergo 3 days and 2 nights of harsh trials. Survive the attacks of zombies and other survivors to become the last person standing. Do you want to see dawn break on the 3rd day? Then you'd better remember the following tips for survival. Collect as many supplies as you can during the day. You can never have too much ammo or medicine. Before night falls, search for a good building to hide in and prepare your defenses. Zombies appear during the night. The zombies can find you no matter where you hide. So your best tactic to fight the zombies right now is to squat inside a room with only one exit and kill the zombies with cover from your teammates. We've prepared an even greater surprise for you. Other than the normal zombies, a mysterious organization will use airdrops to distribute their biochemical experiment, Payman. This powerful elite zombie descends from the sky and tries to kill all enemies within sight. The greater the danger, the greater the rewards. The map shows your repayment will drop from the sky. Kill it to get powerful weapons as your reward. The M134 minigun and flamethrower. These 2 Survival Till Dawn exclusive weapons can definitely help you survive these 3 days and 2 nights. But remember, zombies aren't your only enemies, as other survivors are also a threat to you, so don't hesitate to eliminate them. Once you manage to survive, you'll get the unique achievement Until Dawn. Team up with your teammates to play Survive Till Dawn during Halo Weeks.
The Freeros, thank you for sub. Hey bro, okay bro. नेपाल प्राणी इस्लाम ब्रो नेपाली कति टिम छ अरे नेपाली टिम के अरे 3 जना छ 3टा टिम छ नेपालको फ्ल्याग देखाउँदैन त खै ब्रो किन अब खै इन्डियामा भएर हो नि त ब्रो उनीहरूले अर्को म्याच छ ब्रो छ अर्को म्याच पनि छ खरा श्रेष्ठ ब्रो थ्याङ्क यू फर सब नेपाली टिम से भयो त भयो ब्रो 3टा टिम छ हेलो निन्जा ब्रो कुन टिम छ ब्रो टिडीपी EX र NHN छ कति नम्बरमा हो खै ब्रो अब ओभर स्ट्यान्डिङ आएपछि थाहा हुन्छ कति नम्बरमा छ अब आउँछ है नेपाली काम छैन मैले हेरेको किन भन्नु ब्रो म्याच 3 कसले जित्यो म्याच 3 इन्टिटी गेमिङले जित्यो guys let's hit like share and subscribe guys like share and subscribe चाहिँ हान्दिनु let's hit 300 likes र 300 likes चाहिँ पुर्याइदिनु त सुरु हुने बेला भएन र अब हुन्छ ब्रो हुन्छ गाइस
What's up everyone and welcome back to PMCO South Asia Final के टीम इंटरव्यूज में और अब हमारे साथ जुड़ी है टीम INS. So thank you so much guys अपना टाइम निकालने के लिए इस इंटरव्यू के लिए और बेसिक चीज़ों से स्टार्ट करते हैं सबके इंट्रोडक्शंस.
Hello guys, my name is Bhishma Shah और मेरा IGN है INS Bhishma and I'm from Gujarat और मेरा रोल है IGN.
Hello guys, my name is Gaurav Joshi and my in-game name is INS Joker FTW. I'm from Rajasthan and मेरा रोल है Sniper.
Hey guys, my name is Shekhar Patil. I'm from Karnataka. My in-game name is INS Smokey FTW. My role is Assaulter.
Hello everyone, my name is Shubham Singh. My in-game name is INS Drigger Cartoons and I'm from Haldwani, Uttarakhand.
So this question I think is for all of you. Which player do you admire? I admire... ऐसा कोई है नहीं. Admire मैं नहीं करता. ये तो बहुत मतलब politically correct सा हो गया कि just to say same. एक तो होगा, एक नहीं
मैं almost सबकी देखता हूँ, you know, कैरी हो गया, स्काउट हो गया, मावी हो गया, उन सब के गेम प्लेस देखता हूँ, एग्जिस्टेंस हो गया, तो जो असॉल्टर्स हैं, जो you know they go out and they kill, मैं उनको देखता हूँ, उनको फॉलो करता हूँ. कोई एक particularly कोई एक है नहीं कि जिसको मैं एडमायर करता हूँ, so ऐसा कोई है नहीं. But हाँ, I follow everyone. I watch them play.
सब पे नजर है. Okay, Joker.
Like अभी PMCO जो है अपना false play इसके अंदर
62 hours है.
तो हर टीम के अंदर कोई ना कोई एक ऐसा बंदा तो है ही जो मतलब like बहुत
amazing. न भनी हेरेर बस्दै रहेछ नि त यस.
बहुत like
सबको अच्छा लगता है उसका. टीम है ना डेंजर.
तो इसलिए किसी एक को बोलना like वो like सही नहीं रहता मेरे हिसाब से. तो मैं तो like सबका ही सही
दोनों भीष्म और जोकर एक ही जैसे सब पे नजर रख
शुरू से साथ में ना जरूरी है.
TDP OP या ब्रो. Hey enemy gaming bro, welcome to the stream.
एडमायर करता हूँ घातक से, उसका आईजेल से, उसका आईजेल बहुत अच्छा एग्रेशन दिखाता है, तो मेरे को उसका आईजेल बहुत अच्छा लगता है. ट्रिगर.
I do have many favorite players. Like internationally, mainly they are players from Illuminate Indonesian squad, Illuminate Mattoy, and from our side, just another squad member, Cartoons, which is not here just due to his exams. That's why. So yeah, both.
Okay, so yeah, as Trigger mentioned, Cartoons. How do you feel that Trigger and Cartoons? What's the difference between their play styles? How are they similar?
Like Cartoons जो था वो like हमारे लिए बहुत amazing support था and like जितना हमें पता है उससे better हमारी टीम का support कोई और बन नहीं सकता. तो and जब बात आई कि Cartoons नहीं खेल पाएगा तो उस टाइम पे हमारे पास options बहुत थे but दिमाग में एक ही चीज़ चल रही थी वो थी Trigger because लाइक जब से गेम आया, जब से हम खेल रहे हैं, उस टाइम से हम ट्रिगर के साथ में हैं, एंड वी नो कि कार्टून्स को रिप्लेस सिर्फ ट्रिगर कर सकता है और कोई नहीं, तो उसके बाद से ही ट्रिगर पे फोकस हो गया।
ओके, सो अब आप लोगों के फ्यूचर प्लान्स क्या हैं इस लाइनअप के साथ?
फ्यूचर प्लान्स तो अभी बेसिकली हमें जो जॉब करता है जैसे ट्रिगर है उसकी भी स्टडीज़ खत्म हो चुकी है, तो प्रोफेशनल करियर में थोड़ा देखना पड़ता है। सो अभी के लिए तो हमने सिर्फ PMCO रखा है, PMCO के बाद कोई टूर्नामेंट आएगा तो हम सोचेंगे क्या करना है आगे उसके बारे में, बट फॉर नाउ हमारा फोकस PMCO ही है, बाद उसका आगे कुछ नहीं है।
Really great to hear from the boys at INS, and we can't forget about the fact that Cartoons was unable to be here due to exams, and Drigger having to come in and fill his shoes, fill his role for his team. They've been able to do a fantastic job and getting very close to getting that first chicken dinner done for them. But hey, they worked up the settings, they started to finally climb their way up and finally get up there. And it's nice to see that the team, with having a roster swap come in right before the event, have been able to be successful.
It's hard to be a player and at the same time a student. You have to learn how to balance those things at the same time. But good on Cartoons for, I think, pursuing a really, really intelligent endeavor, obviously, is the studies. And I admire that, absolutely.
I'm a student in PUBG Mobile. That's that.
So do you have like your bachelor's degree yet? You're
going for my master's in PUBG Mobile.
Okay. Maybe we'll call you Dr. Dave, Mustache Dave, one day.
No thanks. No thanks. No
Anyways,
thanks.
let's actually take a look at some of the top teams we've had. Actually, Entity being one of the top fraggers, actually the top fragger so far, and of course INS as well. And you can already see, I mean, the kills. There's not much of a difference between the two.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the difference between damage and kills, there's hardly anything separating them. It's less than 1,000 just from that last match alone. I absolutely love it. The grenades as well, just 1-0. Really nothing separating these two teams. Just goes to show how dangerous these two teams can be when they get into the zone, and we're definitely seeing that now.
Yeah, looking at the healing though, they are about 2,000 over, so that leads me to assume that Entity are finding themselves in more gunfights, but like you said,
TDP ले एउटा गेम जित्यो, एनटीटी गेमिङले एउटा गेम जित्यो अनि सायद आइएनएसले जित्यो होला एउटा गेम.
So you gotta wonder where they
नेपाल टिमले एउटा चाहिँ जितेछ.
On why that is, Dave. It's because of the fact that Entity, they like to run around and assault teams. They like to go in first. Where INS, they usually rely on Joker getting off a pick first, and that really leads them to have more safe engagements. And I think that's why they have to do less healing.
We saw starting to talk about some players. So let's actually take a little bit of a deeper dive into this between the two teams. We're going to have Amon and Smokey to actually talk about here, as these two players have been able to stand out very well.
Amon, though, look at the damage. He's already done 1,142, got 8 kills on him. Not as much healing as his counterpart, though, but more distance traveled for sure in the same amount of headshots. So I'd say pretty balanced on the both of these sides, but you have to admit that Amon has been getting those kills and that damage in a lot more than Smokey.
Yeah, I mean, this is only from last match as well, so both teams just fragging on out in game number 3. And we heard in the winner interview from the side of Entity that they are actually going to be looking for more kills.
Yeah.
And they said coming into today, the previous games, they played 2 support, 2 fraggers, and moving forward, they're going to go 4 fraggers. So they're calling off the support. They don't feel like they needed any more support, especially after getting that final chicken dinner previously. They are confident the pressure is off. So I'm curious, with 4 fraggers in the front line, is it going to work out for the squad?
I don't know. See, here's the thing. If you look at the healing done, there's a lot on the side of Entity. That's because of the fact that they have those supports that they can rely on. And with the way that they play, I think those supports are going to be absolutely vital. Now, having 4 frontliners, that's very difficult because there's no one to res you or help you trade if you don't play in pairs. So we'll see how it plays out. But I do like the idea that they are getting more aggressive.
Yeah, they also not only mentioned that they're going to change to 4 fraggers, but also said that they're going to change up their drop locations because they feel like other teams are already going to start to target them. So I don't know. They're doing really well. Do you have to make a change right now? I don't know. That's
I mean, you still have a lot of games to play.
Exactly.
So, right? It's 18 total. You have 15 left to go. I do like, though, that they showed that they can get kills without getting a chicken dinner, but the confidence boost that must come off the back of that, of finally getting over that hurdle, right? Of finally getting that first full victory under your belts has to really push them forward.
My opinion is that playing well and not getting a chicken dinner is better than getting a sloppy chicken dinner. So that's exactly what I think Entity Gaming is doing. They're not getting all the chicken dinners, but they're playing as a really good cohesive squad.
So you're the type of guy that has all your food separated. You don't mix your mashed potatoes with your peas and your chicken.
Well, sometimes I do.
Okay. Sometimes you like sloppy.
Yeah, I like
all right. We also heard in that little clip from INS, they admire no one, but they follow everyone. I feel like that means that they follow other people's strategies, they keep tabs on them, but we're not scared.
Definitely not, and
I don't think you can be scared. I mean, if you want to be the best, you need to, play the best, beat the best, but also act like you're the best, right? You got to have some sort of ego to be a professional player. And if you want to represent your region, you want to represent your country, your team, yourself, your family, you got to be able to have a little bit of ego and that confidence.
A little bit of swag.
All right, well, thank you. You actually boosted my ego there. We need to have some maybe team in terms of their ego, considering how the games have been going for them. We need to see some new winners. We need to see some new teams rise in the ranks. And hey, speaking of new, we're also going to have some new commentators, John Allen and Blake.
Set.
Hello. Welcome to game number 4. We are ready to get underway with some Erangel action here at the South Asia Regional Finals. My name is John Allen. With me, Xander Blank Padwick, and we are going to be getting underway really soon. Really soon.
Shiny Erangel. Nice new map for us to
Erangel, guys.
Immediately here.
I'm from Mumbai. No, Aditi Srivastava.
Chat Gurib. The last 3 games of the day. It's the finals day. It's pretty cool. You can see all the teams getting geared up. We've got some fancy new production. Magic coming through the AR on your screen.
Oh, love it.
Very nice to see indeed. All the players in their booths. We're getting ready to jump into the plane for match number 4.
Tell you what, it's very nice to see as well. Entity's performances so far. They've been the talk of the town. They've been lighting up the green room with chatter. Backstage, we've heard all about their exploits. We watched them as well. But certainly everyone's singing their praises right now. A couple of teams that we're going to be looking for. Fnatic failing a little bit to capitalise on their advantage in that last game. Seoul as well, another team that sometimes just losing players early on and not having the best of impact.
Yeah, and I think it's Clutch God really at the moment who's basically been bringing up the rear for Seoul. There's some insane plays we saw there on, I think it was the very first Erangel going for a ridiculous DP spray on about 1 HP, just laying it down. But yeah, Entity, these guys are definitely the big players, the ones to watch so far. They had a really strong group stages despite not playing all their games. Then their semi-finals was a little lackluster, and now coming into the actual finals themselves, they're on fire so far. But remember, guys, we still have around about, I believe it's 15 more games to go.
It's quite a lot.
So it's quite a lot. A lot can change. We
should be hopefully getting there's the first circle pop. It's going to come in a little bit southwesterly, not super dramatic, but everyone north of the river, everyone dropping Yasnaya over Lepov as well.
Location change गरेछ guys, drop location.
A couple of contested drops here. Synergy, E, Nepali, Honi, both in Lepovka. Trusty Process, Megastars up in Severny. Megastars currently quite split, whereas Trusty Process nice and
यो जोन कता पर्छ भन्ने हो गाइस यो Fnatic छ नि त्यतिर पर्छ होला सायद
Not the best way to start it off. You want to try and keep it on up. Of course, what we've seen from the play-ins was that every team was only playing 8 games, right? It was very much do or die every single game. This time around, you are playing for averages, right? We've had some pop-offs go on already, right? Entity Gaming, as we were saying, talk of the town, they're going to be the guys that everyone's looking at, right? They've started off really, really strong. But it's teams like Fnatic, it's teams like Seoul, who I spoke about earlier, that do just need to put in those consistent performances and look to get over to that 12-point average that will probably see you into the top 5 spots.
Like to say, John,
EX छ यो TDP भइहाल्यो हाम्रो अनि के रे अर्को
we don't have groups, we
NHN नेपाली हो नि
singular 16 teams for the grand finals. It's a grueling 3 days and 18 matches to be played. But again, Entity might be on top right now, but there
3
is
days
a long
and
game
18 matches to be played, guys.
You could have a team that comes out, has an absolute corker of a day tomorrow, and slams themselves all the way to the top of the leaderboard. It'd be interesting to see. So again, we were talking about this in the green room, weren't we? Consistency, it's key. You need to make sure you stay on top. And so far, Entity with a 5th, 2nd, and 1st place finish, that's exactly what you want from this team. Even when the games that they weren't hitting those chicken dinners, they were still posting very, very good scores.
And another factor you have to consider, right? These teams are going to learn each other incredibly well across all different maps, right? They're going to know exactly how the meta of these games are going to go. And as we progress forwards, you know, we've already started to see it shift just a little bit and see what they can do, but they're going to learn every single drop, every single rotation that they like to make, which means that it's going to be on the adaptability of these teams, on the ability for them to figure out that game and to give their team the best strategies moving forwards. That is going to see them towards the top of the tables.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, how many strategies were you able to withhold during the play-ins, or did you have to give it all out then just to make it to the top 16? Over time, these teams are going to have to do a bit of a topsy-turvy when it comes to switching up their play style. Obviously, you can see NC on your screen right now. Pretty much, they have the pick of the litter, and yes, Naya, there's no one else here actually really contesting them at all. You can see a couple of the stats coming on stream from our beautiful production team over in the wings of the stage. Chicken Dinner's 1, they're in position number 1, 2. Just 8 damage at 5.4. Really well played to this team.
Aman has been fragging out of his mind so far. So many kills going their way. Over 3 games, that's 10.5, wait, 10 point something. 10 and 2/3 kills per game on average. And that is insane. That is a really good showing for any team on any game, and to do it 3 games on the trot, that is phenomenal stuff.
It's seriously incredible. Now, we can see Elementrix in North George, Rip Official, they're in South George looting the crates area. Now, we know Elementrix like to take position up on Everest. Now, this would be a good position to do it, especially with the circle, basically rounding out just towards the bottom of Sosnovka, coming up, and then enclosing around Gatka Fields, and just a little bit of farm. For 0 Degree, though, they're in Rozhok. They'll have a nice and easy rotation coming southwards should they choose to make that. This is a team that's really impressed me so far. I think they weren't quite able to close it out last game. But having said that, there was a lot of attention on them. People were really trying to get up onto their position because it was the best position available to them on Miramar.
Everyone thinking about rotating. Not going to be pushed in just yet. Entity from Yasnaya needs to come on in. Of course, a little bit of a scrap going on now between Orb and INS. INS faltered at the last hurdle in the previous map. It seems like they don't want to put themselves at any sort of disadvantage here already. Joker is just sending for the hills, back over to Gatka Fields, back to the safety, the waiting arms of the rest of his team, and it looks like Orb have a similar idea, just heading back into Pachinki. They were venturing out, they were scouting, and they thought, oh, maybe I'll get a pick, and then they were all both like, oh, no, I'm going to go back. Come back.
Now, Official, they're an interesting team to look at here. Yeah. The past 2 lands, they've missed out like grand final position by just 1 point. This time, in the Pmco, one of the most prestigious tournaments out there, they make it into the top 16 by 1 point only. So they're on the other end of things right now. But this is a team where I'm thinking, have they expended everything in play-ins, or can they light it up now in the regional finals? Having said that, though, they didn't have the greatest performance in group stages, and they have played a lot better now in the play-ins, and I want to see more of that here in the regional finals. Seoul, though,
yeah,
a big team to talk about.
Yeah, they absolutely have taken the Indian and South Asian scene by storm. They have incredible support, and at the moment they're sat not too far down the tables, doing relatively well. They will need to try and push up those numbers. I think they're currently sat on 27, 28 points at the moment, which over 3 games it's below that 10-point average, which isn't what you're looking for from a top 5 team. But they absolutely have the support. I mean, you can see Mortal on your screens. They're currently in 6th, 10 kills as well. That's pretty decent. It's a pretty decent showing, but they do need to pump it up just a little bit. 6th, just below that 5th spot, which is really where the cutoff is. All of these teams are going to be gunning for. But speaking of change-ups that you were talking about earlier, Blank, from the group stages to those play-ins, ETG Brawlers, right? They had a huge impact on the first day of those play-ins. Second day, not so much. They said, you know, oh, we're just trying out new strategy. We're just changing it up. We're doing some things differently to how we were doing them before. But today, again, they've just fallen short just that little bit early on. So we're going to be looking to them to change up what they've got and show us exactly how strong they are.
Exactly. Now, taking a look at another team that has garnered a lot of fame so far, been picked up by one of the big Western organizations. It's Fnatic over here. Scout OP obviously leading the charge. Slayer from IND, DP tries to get it down to him.
It's unfortunate though, he is going to get knocked out. IND guarding that bridge. And it's going to be Kratos.
Oh no, don't do it to him.
The death bells are ringing, and they are ringing pretty loud right now. Should be able to confirm it. Scout, first eliminated for Fnatic. So they still have yet to cross that western bridge. IND holding it down beautifully. You can see they've spread out. They're covering every angle, so you can't have Scout just come across and send out wide and instead go for something else. They have got them covered.
Scout seems to be just doing his own thing right now. Paratosh now moving back towards his team, who are about really 500 meters away out. Really, Oasis is more like 1,000 meters out. Next circle pops on your screen. It's over towards Pachinki. But again, let's talk about Scout a little bit more, because this guy has been leading the charge for his team. We've seen it where he goes out early, the team starts to scramble. He is that IGL, he tells them what to do, he tells them where they're going, and really this team is there to support him. He's the one making a lot of the aggressive plays. Now we're really wondering, can the Hydra operate with one of the heads now cut off, and arguably one of the larger heads?
It's going to be pretty tricky. The rest of Fnatic obviously out to prove themselves in it. We've had spectacular performances from the rest of the squad, but we'll have to see what they're able to pull out of the bag this time around. Game 4 of the regional finals. Certainly the place where you want to do it is right at the end, with the potential of qualifying through for Malaysia.
Indeed. ETG Brawlers now on our screen.
कति-कतिमा छ नेपालीहरु खेल्दैछन् गाइज अब लेट्स सी के हुन्छ अझ बाँकी छ धेरै.
It's a very, very strong hillside to control, lots of angles that you can hold down, a lot of visibility everywhere you can see. This is a team that hasn't performed so well in the grand finals, despite having one hell of a play-ins. I believe they had 4 chicken dinners by the end of that one, and then they kind of tapered off during the second day.
INS at risk at the moment, actually, down to 1 player.
This is not what I wanted to say. I mean, these are the winners of the last map that we just saw on Miramar. An excellent job to finish that one out, and I believe that was versus ETG. Oh no, ETG.
No, Entity. Entity did take them down.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, but they were very, very close. They had a really great scoreline coming on through. INS currently on the western side facing off against RIP Official. 1 player left alive for them. Looks like they are going to continue to go for it. The drop out in the water. The Groza and the Brawlers now defending their compound against Elementrix. Doing quite a good job of it as well, but they have lost Iconic in the process, and they have to be worried because at the back they got, I think that's Nepali starting to aggress onto their compound and spotting out what they can get done. Bishma is still going, by the way, currently in a 1 versus 3 with RIP Official, and 2 of them have just been knocked out. He might just be able to survive it.
Pretty tough fight here right now for both these teams. Got Elementrix on the hillside. Not doing too much. Hyozu lobbing down grenades. It's Orange who will get taken down through the smoke there. And Pooperman and Junior just on the high ground. Junior healing up. Junior a really strong player from this team.
Has been doing so much work for Elementrix. Time and time again, just filling up his Santa sack of goodies and dishing them out to the rest of the squad. Then here you go. Have 5 kills. Have 6 kills. Have 7 kills. Have a chicken dinner.
We're watching Brawlers again right now. Not too much going on with this team, unfortunately. They're kind of just holding down the compound between them and Elementrix. We do have this crunch between Pachinki coming downwards. We've got Synergy E, Soul, Clutch got over here, Orb Official playing around this area.
Yozu bro, पुरै गाडी चलाइराछ guys.
They're clamped between a lot of teams. We're about to get the next circle to pop in, but we're looking at Regaltos right now versus Megastars. Megastars have got one hell of a run up this hill already. RV, he's puffed out. He's on the floor, knocked.
Not too great of a position at the moment. It's going to be tricky for the rest of the team to come and back up their down player. They're pretty isolated right now. Now there's 2 of them on the ground. Not really going to be the best situation. It is only Vexy left up with Final Boss having already gone down, and he is not going to be trying to push on forwards. So 2 of the Megastars now going to be dead in the dirt, and 1 player left for the Megastars.
Yeah, it's a great start for Seoul, really. Now they control much of the
western side of the circle. Riff Official are coming just underneath them, but looks like shots are just being fired off between a lot of these teams. You can see where every player, they have the orange square around them. That means they are firing upon a different team, so you can see how much action is going on right now. Got the AWM in the crate. Nice little bit. I believe that is actually on Military Island though, so no one's going to really have anything to do with that.
No, the Orm is going to remain unclaimed as the center of the circle, hotly contested now to the south of Pachinki. These hills, so strong, but so overpopulated right now. And it cannot hold this sort of population. There is just not enough resource.
There's not, no. 0 degree, though, they've got this compound. Now, they had a much similar thing on Miramar where they had that really strong position. They were not able to hold it down in the end. A lot of pressure was put onto them, and it felt like they kind of broke and crumbled underneath the weight of all that. Let's see if this time they can try and hold it up like Atlas, hold up this compound, remain steadfast, really. We'll see what happens going forward. Synergy E have been putting up a marvelous performance so far, holding down this hillside and throughout the rest of the play-ins and the beginnings of this finals. But it is very interesting as we have 15 teams, 53 players alive in this number 3 circle. We're waiting for that 5th circle for when everything starts to go down and it gets very chaotic.
Certainly does. Chaos can reign supreme and sometimes can crown a champion in the best situation. At the moment, Nepali sending one of their scouts on in to try and claim the Harry Potter Tower. Will make it, but they do know that there's someone relatively nearby. Synergy up the top, 24 in hand, pretty devastating with the right sights, and he's spotted out Trusty Process as well. Nice scouting, nice information gathering for Synergy.
And the M4 here is super deadly at the end of the day. Scar in hand now, looking at the players rising it down the hill. Nepali Honi have been having a really tough time with it. They've just been swinging from place to place. LR2 in the building, so it's safe here in the Harry Potter Tower. You just have to get in.
They are just going to try and send it on through if they can, but you say they are just holding it down. For now, everyone, as I said, just poking out for these spots in Pachinki Hills, in the south of Pachinki. Trying to see what they've got. The moment Entity edge guarding Godlike. I think that might be a pretty unfortunate situation. Their 2 players are further on south, and the next circle just about to pop. IND, real strong right now.
Yeah, excellent shot from Daljit there on the sniper from the Kar 98K. Blasts away the players in the compound. They've been like spun all over the place.
Yeah, they've managed to find a little bit of respite though, as we were saying earlier, in this Harry Potter Tower. So many teams will be rotating past, so many teams will be looking their way. They just need to try and weather the storm. And the next shift, it's going to be brutal. Over out to the northwest, actually zoning on to half of Pachinki. And Seoul, right, slap bang in the center of it. In with a decent shout, and IND already rotating in round behind them for Pachinki Hills.
It's Rip Official over the top. IND, again, like you're saying, John, they're going to hold the western side, nice hills to play from. But Seoul, they've been consistently taking this central position, but when you take center, you're expecting teams to come fight you, come take you out. At the moment, I don't think Seoul has quite got that firepower to work with. Right now, we were saying before how potentially Fnatic wouldn't be able to cope without Scout on board, but really they've had a very nice rotation coming from Sosnovka military base to get all the way to the northern side of this circle, position themselves in a great place to start making their ingress towards the circle.
They've been continuously just moving counterclockwise, and looks like Entity have the same rotation in mind. This might prove difficult for Fnatic to hold off against current tournament leaders. It's where they need to prove their mettle, but at the moment, speaking of tournament leaders, ETG Brawlers, leaders from the play-ins, going to be facing off against Seoul. They're aware of each other's position. On the hillside, a dominant spot is up for grabs, but a nade over onto Trusty Process as well. Oh, finding 2. Huge stuff.
A
triple nade coming out. Nicely done. But at the moment, Seoul still holding it down. They don't really want to take too many more fights. Entity encroaching onto Fnatic's position as well, as IND have been spotted by Seoul.
Let's remember that Vex from Megastars, he was their final player on board. That's a 1v4 that he's just pulled off. Ridiculous plays coming out from this guy. Believe he is just still alive. Yeah, Megastars, that 1 player up. But this will be a very interesting fight for Seoul. If they can take down ETG Brawlers, be a huge boost of confidence, and I think that's exactly what they need right now.
Need to remember that they came from players last team.
Another nade.
Oh my god, this guy's on fire.
Bomberman.
Yeah, ridiculous. Soul came from players last time, came into finals, and they just really turned it up in a big way. Remember, still 15 games to go, there's still potential for that to happen.
Just sat down in the shack at the moment. Synergy E, very, very low. One of their players down. He's holding it in. Level 3s. Fantastic. All abound. The SKS and the AKM. Pretty devastating duo. High damage output, certainly. Close range, pretty tricky to handle. We'll see what he's able to get done. At the moment, everybody has now found their way into the circle. Trusted Process losing one, though, in the process. As it was the player who was down in front of the position that we have at the moment on our screens. Vex doing so much work. He's got 4 kills for his team.
You know, there's people just slowly dying around him, or he just let them go. And it's because there are so many teams here. Now things are starting to get a little bit more spicy for the Seoul team, with now 2 teams beneath them. Nepali Honi surprisingly still got many players on board. Now we're watching Entity. Couple of nice nades coming through.
This is over onto Mayhem, just to the north side, the northwest side of Pachinki. They're controlling the high ground at the moment, but Reds has oversight. Not really using it though. Not at the moment. Mayhem is struggling. Entity though,
Sumit
trying to remain control with On going down. At the moment at their disposal. Next circle comes in.
Right on top of Seoul once again. They're just off to a little bit south. It's Orb Official holding it down just outside Pachinki Fields. IND though, they slowly made their way in from the west. There's a nice rotation from them, but it's this southern side where it's so crunched up. But all these players on the hill, now you're watching Clutch God once again trying to make it happen.
He's going to be able to rain down a little bit of damage, but he gets knocked from 0 degree. The rest of Seoul need to try and scrabble to hold on to this hillside. Entity and Fnatic all making the push as well over into the zone as Seoul just heal up. No one really aggressing onto their position at the moment, but up the hillside, it might just be a little bit of 0 degree pushing on through. Fnatic coming into contact with pretty much everybody on the map. 2 of them down, 1 left alive. Over on the northwestern side, they're trying to find a little bit of a foxhole to hunker down in, but they just can't seem to find it. No respite, but there's 3 of them still alive. They still have a chance.
Seoul have been blasted on all sides from Synergy E. They've had 0 degree, ETG Brawlers, Nepali Honi down there too, but it looks like 0 degree are really holding down this slightly elevated position. Blackcake so low, just 1 shot will lay him low to the floor.
Blazy looking for it, but gets a little bit of flak chucked his way. Has to hit the deck. Smoke gets some healing on board. Fnatic eliminated as well. They are going to go down. Fortunate for them, they needed to try and pump them those numbers, but it's just not going to happen.
Major Alpha here now taking shots from 0 degree 2. 0 degree got themselves another situation like last game where they've taken too many fights with too many people, and now everyone's looking their way.
IND out on the western side, probably the most isolated team at the moment. Speaking of teams that are isolated, there's none of them on your screen right now. They're all just going for the fight. They're all chock-a-block, all on this hillside, laid bare. Synergy E trying to push on through. They had a great set of kills in the previous game. Trying to replicate that. Coming on in at the moment, sat a couple of kills to their name for now. 5 total and all 4 alive.
That's the
everybody here in the struggle, cuddle, trying to stay alive as long as possible as everyone gets a little bit too close for comfort. But IND, very interesting. We'll take a quick side note here. They played passive most games and they're going for placement points right now. They're going for that consistency. Looks like they might try and make that push for the #1 spot towards the end of the finals.
Nice nades coming out from Synergy E. Actually, Sirvi able to land one. A little bit of damage might be found as the most of 0 degree grouped up there. The nades rain on through, trying to hold it down. You can see the smokes being laid out by 0 degree, trying to send it on back, but Seoul is at their back as well. They're going to have to try and push through. Seoul will be moving their way for the next zone, so they need to be incredibly careful. They're going to be taking fights on all fronts.
Yeah, everyone on the southern side starting to squeeze upwards and getting ever closer to one another. Regaltus goes down.
Oh, the ETG Brawlers starting to go in. It's only 2 of Seoul left live and kicking as the Brawlers right around the corner. Viper and Mortal hunkering down around the corner. It's Sangwon trying to get it done. He knows they're in there now. Goes for the spray. Looking to potentially confirm onto Regaltos. Will be trying to distract it just a little bit. They're trying to go for the spray downs. 1 goes down, 2 goes down, and Seoul, they're knocked out. Very, very low. And they're not going to be able to make it any further. 4 points for them as ETG Brawlers try and regain the crown.
And that is exactly what Sangwon's known about. This guy is an aggressive IGL. They switched him most recently. He's been doing wonders for the ETG squad. IND now, they've finally come into contact with Entity Gaming, who will be now shut down. But it's 0 Degree who have their number.
Synergy, 8 kills at the moment, the dominant force in the circle. 0 Degree, however, doing a lot of work on their own part. 2 points already. Not too many kills for now, but the zone domination that they've had is incredibly strong. Synergy E taking a lot of damage. Nepali Honi sending it back, but they will get eliminated themselves. And now it's just more points under the belt as the kills go their way.
Every team here have been taking so many fights here, John. You can see how damaged the gear is on most of these players. Great spray from God there onto ETG.
Dark goes down, Nova is down as well. Looks like it might just be Sungwon left to try and hold it out. 4 points, and he has to hold off against so many teams. IND and 0 Degree both gunning for them as everybody crunches on down. The southern side so deadly. At the moment, Elementrix and Orb sat relatively safe over the northern side.
IND will finish off ETG now. Nice shots onto Sangwon from then. Still 4 players alive. They like to prioritize having many players as possible for that increased amount of angles that they can hold down. Just Blazy here making his way down alongside God, but so low on both of them. That will be 0 Degree out. Synergy E have made a major hike up this hill to remain in this game, all the way into the top 5.
Doing incredible work. 5 teams now remaining. As you say, 12 kills, a huge number right now. There's so many more left to get. Rip Official chiming in. They've got 7. They're doing pretty well as well, it has to be said. But next circle, just about to pop, and it heads south towards Synergy E. Domination continues to come through.
Rip Official, that team you just mentioned there, John, have been doing really good this game. Surprisingly so, and I think it's mostly down to the fact that the circle has favoured them the majority of the way through. Despite that, Synergy E, they've got the walking boots on, and they are walking towards this chicken dinner, doing a very good job themselves. That is Strider going down. Junior, Hyozu, remember this team lost 2 players very early on, and surprisingly, all the way to this top 5 spot. Could be going quite well for them, but Major Alpha here with the spray, tapping away at them.
Looking for it, Junior hunkers down. 1 player left. They are going to try and out-survive it, but will not go their way, gets eliminated. 13 kills now racked up for Synergy E. They were sat down in 9th place before the start of this game. 9 kills total, so they've more than doubled that. 22 points overall, and IND just get rattled off. They're giving these away.
Just Slayer alive right now. Synergy E. What an amazing game. This team is very quiet for a little while, and suddenly they come out of nowhere. But look at this. They are so low on equipment. Every single team you can see, red icons everywhere. Goes for the steal as well.
Rip do get it away though. They sneak that one in. Up to 9 kills themselves. High kills at the top of the scoreboards this time around. Might isolate a few teams towards the top of the overall standings as well, as IND looking for it, but Synergy E finish them out. 3 teams remain. Orb really on their last rags, trying to push on out as Mazik, the last alive, trying to out-heal the blue zone. Rip Official down in the shack, and it looks like Synergy E have everybody on the ropes right now. They're currently climbing up to the top turnbuckle, ready to drop that people's elbow.
Like, share, and subscribe. Let's
hit 400 likes, guys. For this team, but really, like you say, John, Rip Official, they're down in their love shack, and Synergy E, they want to join very, very shortly. 4 members. 2 on the side of Rip Official. Strider takes a bit of a better position right now. Gets a little bit closer to them. The US creeping its way down the hill, just like Synergy E themselves, placing himself forward. This Molotov could be excellent. A nade comes through, bounces over the top. What a throw off the top of the roof!
Strider gets down, and now it's 2 players for Rip. The Molotov is out. It's guarding them in. Synergy E sending it out wide. Check out where Sivy is right now. He's headed out to the left. He's breaching. He's sending it. But the cover is so hard for Rip Official. They have to leave this shack, however. The next zone going to send them away. They have to move out to the west. And all that Synergy E need to do is wait this one out. They can just hold it down, use those smokes, and play around this ridgeline. There is very little that Rip can do.
Rip will have to leave, like you say, John. It's going to be so tough. It's a 2v3 scenario. The only advantage the RIP official have right now is the fact that they have as much gear as they want. They have the vest, they have the helmet. On the other hand, Synergy E, they're lacking that quite drastically, and just a couple of shots from these heavy-hitting weapons will take them down. RIP official, you've got to make a move now, lads.
Blue zone is going to push them in. They have to make their choice. Out into the blue zone they go. It's going to be Tempest trying to heal it. Sky going to go for the kills instead. He gets down, and Sky, he's going to get shot out, and it's Synergy E claiming the chicken dinner. Beautiful stuff to happen there. 16 kills. I think it was 15, 16 kills at the top. A great game for them. They're able to take it home.
Massive chicken dinner coming out from the Synergy E boys. 3 members alive. They held the hilltop, and I think we can quite happily crown them king of the hill there. Extremely well played to them. Soul, on the other hand, like I said before, they take that central position. They're just unable to hold it down. ETG was so close to them, I swear they could hear them breathing through the wall, but they were just not able to make it work. Sangwan, Dark, excellent, just peaking advantage there. We get a shot of the crowd right now. They're loving it. We can hear them through here in the caster's room.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. Great support coming out. Team that I was slightly disappointed in that final circle by IND. Giving away those kills just a little bit to pretty much every angle, or taking out some of their squad, and Synergy E just claiming some of those kills as well.
Yeah, it's difficult. I mean, for IND really, it's like when you go to sleep at a friend's house, right? And they give you the blanket that's just not quite big enough for any part of your body, so you're trying to stick it on somewhere, trying to get a little bit warm, but always some part of your body's sticking out, be it a toe, be it your chest here. It's just bad for them. And that's what IND couldn't do. They couldn't hold down all those angles at the same time. Couldn't predict all of that. Slayer was desperately looking everywhere that he could, but it was in the end, he got shot in the head because there's one team they could spot him out.
Absolutely. Beautiful finish on the game. Synergy E going to be catapulting themselves up the scoreboards. Worst out on 23 points. They're going to have a whole lot more right now. They should be pretty happy with themselves. I think it was a 35, 36 point game. They do come on through. See right there.
That's the kind of rocket fuel game that would just like take off and send you towards the top of the standings there. Really, really well played to them. This is going to give them that bit of security going forward in the day. Obviously, we've only got 2 more games to go, and they'll be able to recuperate at the end of the day, have a bit better of a VOD review there, just because they'll feel a little bit safer towards the top of the standings.
And not only that, the teams at the top of the standings didn't do super well. We saw Entity go down very early. We saw INS go out without doing too much. Soul as well did not terribly, but INS to boot, and it's just not the top teams coming in with the performances. Fnatic is another team that didn't really push on up. So with that, Synergy E open up the doors to try and creep on through.
Vex from Megastar actually was one of those players that really gave Synergy E a bit of a hard time too, but we'll leave that stuff to the desk. We're going to delve a little bit deeper, and we'll throw this one back to Jason on the desk with the boys.
Seems like everyone wants to chase that kill streak we saw out of IND with their 20. Somehow Synergy gets so close yet fall a little bit short, but take home the victory nonetheless and played so amazingly well. Let's kind of dive into how they did that here towards the end of the game.
Honestly, before we get into that, I do want to point out one thing you just saw on the replay. That thing where Soul was, 2 members of Soul, they were both hiding inside this compound. I don't know what was going on in there. There were 2 members locked inside. They shouldn't have been inside that. That was such an easy trade for the members, for the members who cleaned them up. It's flabbergasting why they would do that.
Yeah, it kind of all started around circle 5 and 6, which we're looking at right now, where SGE started to kind of pinch on and gatekeep a couple teams such as the Brawlers, such as 0 Degree, and from there they're just dominating the edge. Just look at this, already 13 kills. The
Almost
DP action.
Yeah, they're at the very end of it, SGE, they were looking so good, taking fights left and right. It was like their members, one individual member at a time. They were just taking fights left and right from each and every angle and winning one of them. Each and every one of them, just picking off people. It came all the way down to sort of what was like a 2v3 at the end, which had some very questionable decisions for me. Like, I forget, who was the team inside the compound at the very end?
Rip?
Yeah,
Little Shack?
Yeah, Rip. The time that Rip actually got that nade down, that's when they should have left that that little hut and should have started taking the fight closer to SGE, but that never happened. It took them until the blue zone actually bit them in the back before they actually left that cabin.
I mean, it doesn't hurt that they also had a couple crates as well. SGE, they're kind of crate hunting there. We saw Shredder at the end, super aggressive, no helmet, just going all out over there. I mean, 16 kills for the team, 36 points as a whole. I believe, is that the record so far today when it comes to points? So. Okay, so they're going to be setting the record, and I think, Jason, you mentioned they were what? Like, what place were they?
They were 9th place before this, and they only had 9 kills.
Okay.
I think they're going to be probably somewhere safe around 4th or 3rd after this one, though.
They had 23 points before this as well, so they went up 13 points in terms of what they earned from this game alone. They went up in 7 kills. Like, that's a performance you need for Synergy, and what a way to do it as well. That was at the end of match 4.
Yeah, but the question is whether they can repeat that success later on.
We'll see. But one team I'm really disappointed in, I'm not gonna lie, Orb official. I'm disappointed because once again they dropped over there in Pachinki, and we saw the circles continuing to favor Pachinki, so they didn't really have to move very far this last game. With that being said, they only have 3 kills. I feel like they had so many opportunities to try to third party, even get into engagements themselves, but deciding just to camp it out in the compounds. I get it. Go for those placement points, but come on, team. You got Pachinki all to yourself. You should be racking up some kills.
And this should actually really change up the scoreboard here. INS, previously they were at 2nd place. Now they actually dropped all the way down to the bottom. I think they went out around 1st, I think, in this map. I'm not too sure. They only got themselves 2 points total, which should really, really make it hard for them progressing, as well as Entity Gaming, who was number 1. I wouldn't be surprised to see a new number 1. Well, maybe not just yet, because Entity had a lot.
Yeah, they had a lot of points there, but we have to talk about Fnatic here. Obviously, I don't want to be too harsh on them, but let's talk about it, because we did see them drop Military, Trust the Process, left them alone, didn't drop towards them this time. But then Fnatic, when they tried to rotate out that western bridge, Scout got caught out, Scout got killed, and when Fnatic seemed to lose Scout, they seemed to lose control of what they're going to do.
I'm so confused by that decision from Scout. He just went in straight across that western bridge, didn't even bother to check. I guess that's his job as Scout, but there's so many other options. He could have taken the east bridge, he could have went and looked for maybe a boat to take your team across. There were so many other choices, but instead of patiently waiting and trying to find out whether this is
they also had Paratosh with Scout, so thankfully for the team, Paratosh was able to retreat from that position. IND, though, 100% going to be camping Fnatic moving forward, because Fnatic, they like to drop military base. Even if the plane doesn't favor it, they get into vehicles, they still drive all the way down there. So if I'm Fnatic, I'm going to have to come up with some type of plan to make sure not to get camped out by IND once again. I do like how Fnatic, though, instead of going over there when things weren't working out, they were able to use the East Bridge. They wrapped all the way around in through Pachinki. A circle actually favored Pachinki, so I was like, okay, Fnatic, finally, you're looking good, you're in the zone. But then it went outside of Pachinki. They took a little too long to push on out, and squads were already prepared to fight those squads moving out of the town.
I think it's that indecision that's really hurting Fnatic here.
Safe and trusted
plays, that rotation happen. This is where Paratosh actually goes all the way to the center of the bridge, and then he has to fall all the way back as well. So had they come up with a better plan earlier, this would have never happened, I think.
What confused me was that we had Fnatic, I believe, towards like the northwest side of Pachinki. Then they kind of ran straight through it and lose 2 players on that transition. And I don't know what it is, but it seems like when Scout is down early on, they just don't have the right call being made. I'm not sure what's going on. They seem to struggle without the big aggressive player that he is.
I think Scout has this thing where he makes a lot of space. I mean, he's a Scout, he gets information, he makes room, he makes space, and with that, it allows the rest of the team to breathe a little bit. Now, without that, you're changing your playstyle of the team by so much because of the fact that you don't have as much information. You don't necessarily know where you're going in the next step, because that's what Scout does. He helps them plan ahead.
Yeah, see, we just saw that previous circle. This is what I'm talking about, Orb. I mean, you're in the circle, or at least a majority of them, and they just let IND walk right past them and get in front of them. Yes, we had one member left from Orb actually trying to go for the heal off, all right? I commend that. Not enough bandages, unfortunate. We saw the mollies come out from our team at the end there, and it wasn't able to outlive. So, Orb, 3rd place, I believe that's their best placement so far. I'd like to see some kills. I mean, you can't stress it so much. I mean, Saw before the last game, Entity had the most kills, no chicken dinners, and they're
right. Okay,